Hi again, everybody, and if it's Friday night, it's time for CTN's Game of the Week. I'm Nick Wisniewski, lucky enough to be joined with Kevin Bryant. We're at Holloway Field. We've got the Pioneers hosting the Ypsilanti Grizzlies. Kevin, what are we up for tonight?
Well, our last regular season game, Nick, and we're hoping to have maybe a game like we had last week when we had our Game of the Week between two teams that might not, and I say might, be going to the playoffs, but can give our fans a fantastic show. Ypsilanti comes in needing only one victory to make themselves eligible for the postseason. You hear the coaches in the background, they're ready to go get it. On this field, though, Pioneer is the only thing that's going to be stopping them, and we know for the Pioneers, they have a special QB in East Hope. It should be a fantastic game, Nick.
Completely agree. Should be a fantastic game. Stick around. We'll be right back with kickoff. And welcome in once again, everybody, as we're awaiting kickoff here. The home team Pioneers will be kicking off to the visiting Grizzlies here momentarily. You know, as you mentioned, Kevin, Ypsilanti, they can put some points up on the board, as we've seen from Pioneer also. Unfortunately, the Pioneers have lost 4 straight at this point in the game, this point in the season, while Ypsi comes in on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, that's not the formula for Coach Bellers that he would like to have on his last game senior night.
And starting off with a little trickeration, as we were talking, as we were kind of looking down, there is that onside kick that you've been rooting for weeks and weeks now.
Somebody out there, I know a lot of people are listening to the CTN broadcast, and thankfully some coaches are listening to the CTN broadcast. Come on, we asked for that how many, 5 times last week? First play of the game, baby.
I'm pretty sure that I heard the kicker say this one's for KB and then went at it.
Nice. I usually don't get that kind of reception over here at Holloway Field, man.
Yeah, being a River Rat, not a lot of respect.
There it goes. See?
And here we've got the Grizzlies starting off here from the shotgun. 2 men on either side of the QB. Couldn't quite find that one. Bounced off him, though. Men in the backfield and eventually brought down. But I believe that was Logan Jacobs ended up bringing him down.
Ball security on wet nights is always a priority, Nick, and we see it right there on the first play for the Grizzlies. It looked like a little bit of a high snap. We'll take a quick look at it. No,
yeah,
no.
That was right in his
It could
grill.
have gotten even better. Mm-hmm. And he's got the sticky gloves on too, man.
He did a nice job of actually picking that up. He opted not to fall on it. He did kind of scoop that up and try to pull away, but again, just too many Pioneers all ready for that, all in on that. So we'll have 2nd and 22 here from the 18-yard line for the Grizzlies. Hard count, fakes the handoff, then options to keep it. Breaks outside, another outside. Pioneers can't quite wrap him up before he gets dropped at about the 29-yard line. So he made up almost back to the original line of scrimmage on a nice QB keeper with some slick moves there.
Well, you see there, this is just sandlot football. When the play breaks down, you just go north. And it was a good job, like you say, of run after that first hit.
And now 3rd down and 13. Got 4 wideouts for the Grizzlies. And opt for a quick short screen pass there.
Yeah, and I think the QB right now might have to 86 those gloves on several plays there, just not any kind of grip on the ball. And several times, even on that pass right there, you see he's not even grabbing laces, it seems like.
Yeah, no, I think you might be onto something there, Kevin. Again, maybe just needs to switch those out, or just go to the bare hands. Bare hands, because
I like
Grizzlies.
that. I like
not,
that.
Oh man, it's gonna be a great broadcast as we start with that one getting going forward. And here we got 4th and 13. Grizzlies will be punting away here.
That was special.
That was completely unintended.
That makes it even better. Well, back here, Jacobs is really going to have to secure the ball before he gets upfield.
That one just ricocheted off his foot, barely gets back to the 50-yard line there. And the Pioneers are going to start with some proverbial favorable field position here.
Yeah, and for the Grizzlies right now, they couldn't have started off any worse, really. Going backwards on a couple plays, and then when you have an opportunity to maybe flip the field, put the Pioneers back up against their own goal line, Nick, you get a poor kick like that. So for Coach Parker, their team really, they have to regroup here early on in this contest.
And not to harp on one thing too much, but it seemed like the punter even didn't really ever have a very good grip on that ball before he dropped that one.
It's kind of odd the way he was holding it to the side there, too. You noticed that?
And here we go, Pioneer from scrimmage. Quick handoff to number 12. Cuts back upside, waits for his hole. Maybe grabs about 1.5 yard on that one.
Yeah, Jacobs coming on that little jet sweep senior, and he really didn't even put it into high gear. You saw him kind of trotting, and he never really turned upfield north or south, Nick.
No, I think he was waiting for some sort of hole to develop or waiting for something to break open for him, and it just kind of never happened, so he had to try to make his own thing happen.
They were tucked inside.
Naylor.
Said that safety was walking right over number 2, about 10 years old.
And here we go, East Hope taking the ball, hands off once again. Smashes right into that Grizzly defensive line.
Well, one of the things that Coach Bellers likes to do is set his plays up. We saw this last week, Nick, where we were hoping and thinking, oh, here comes East Hope. Look out. He's going to be throwing the ball like that young Manning guy. No, he came out and they were running the ball to set up the pass. And later in the game, you saw East Hope. They were down, so they did have to pass the ball. But when that guy drops back, folks, you're going to see a special sophomore. Really doesn't play like a sophomore anymore, too.
No, he's definitely got, I mean, you can say he's got this entire season under his belt. He's gotten the experience he's needed. He's gotten those type of things. And we've seen some really nice plays out of this young man, absolutely. But again, the coach wants to establish the run game, and that's what you have to do. There's a snap to East Hope. Hits his man diving down over the 40-yard line.
Did that ball, did they call it? Looks like it was going to be a false start or some type of illegal procedure penalty. And we saw that from the linesman there, Nick, at the top of the screen, motioning that it was a penalty against the Pioneers. If that play, though, is ruled incomplete or complete, you got a real decision here.
Yeah, real decision.
Real decision for Coach Parker. It looks like it was already made.
Trot him back. Indeed, that'll be. And the ball placed 48-yard line. Pioneer back into their own territory, just a smidge.
Well, that's different from our last week's game where we got into the second half before we had any penalties.
Yeah, last week was definitely a special week on a lot of levels.
Crazy, man.
No penalties was really amazing. I'm not counting on that tonight. That said, I mean, we haven't really brought too much attention to the weather yet. It's chilly out there, obviously. It's mid-fall. But it's been raining the last hour and a half, and there's a nice breeze going on down there. I would call it a little bit more than a breeze. There's some gusts going on down on the field.
And it's kind of swirling, too, so it's no real advantage for either side.
Also, maybe part of the reason why they're going to want to continue to keep the ball on the ground. Both squads.
Oh, you can see the breeze right there with that nice shot from our camera, folks. Good job.
Oh, beautiful. And here we have coming up 4th and 14, punting situation for the Pioneers. They're going to try to get a solid foot on this one and switch that field position up a bit.
Yeah, and you've already had an onside kick, so alert for a punt or a punt fake.
Quality job receiving that punt. An excellent kick. Received very nicely by the Ypsilanti player, but just smashes right into a few waiting Pioneer defenders on that one. Great special teams play all around for the Pioneers on that one, between the snap, good hold, quality kick, and then guys shooting down there quickly to bring that return man down.
I'm not sure if that was Naylor, the quarterback, that was back there for the reception of the punt return, but man, it's a split-second decision. This ball's coming in hot. You might want to let that one go into the end zone, set up on the 20, but you never know in these wet conditions where a ball might just hit a dead spot too, Nick.
And like you said, it does come down to being a split-second decision. He sees that ball, line drive right at his melon. He might be thinking, like, I need to protect myself more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to snag this and let's get going. And regardless, he'll be getting the ball here momentarily in the shotgun. Hard count there from Naylor. Handoff to his back to the left, pulls away.
And that was the guy that had a big week last week, Emerson Wilson. Only on 16 carries, ran for $140. That means a lot of splash plays. And you saw right there where the Pioneer linebackers, they didn't even step up into the hole. Emerson came to them. And actually, you saw a couple of linebackers go on their backside. That's what you want to see out of a strong runner. Finish it.
And here we got 2nd and 3 now for the Grizzlies. Naylor one more time from the shotgun. Handoff again. Wrapped up by several Pioneer D linemen and linebackers, though.
Boy,
Right
that was
at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, sorry about that. Number 54, guard. Watch this block on the pull coming up. Boom. Man, did he lay out number 25 for the Pioneers. Good job for that was Eric Smith coming around on the pull.
Yeah, Smith's a big kid there, too. He's definitely wide. He was significantly larger than the man he was pushing around. But you're right. I mean, that Pioneer player went into him. Smith pushed him back, and he kind of just took him a second to recover. He had to spin away from it.
Yeah, he turned his back. I mean, that's a block. You don't have to pancake somebody if you've got him turning his back. He couldn't see the runner.
Naylor once again receives that one, finds a little bit of a hole, breaks up the middle, cuts
Uh-oh.
right through the middle. Naylor going out to the outside edge. He's still got a couple of people trailing him. He might be able to get it, but let's see how far he can pull before he eventually falls down there at the 20-yard line. Wow, like a cannon he was shot out of that backfield.
Man, we were talking about splash plays out of this kid, and was that Naylor, the QB there?
I believe it was.
Oh my gosh, look at this run. This is incredible on the keeper. Follows his blocks, but watch, he gets to the second level, folks. That's top gear.
I mean, again, it seems like as soon as he hit that line of scrimmage, he was just gone. He rightly tried to get to the end zone.
Territory, but that's the way what you're supposed to do. Held the ball, looking up field. You might want to put it in the outside arm next time, but I love the way he ran away and towards the pylon. He didn't run straight towards the end zone, kind of ran at an angle. Unfortunately, the defender had a better angle.
And we'll see what the Grizzlies can come up with here on 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Naylor gets that, hands that one off. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by the Pioneers, however.
I believe that was Lee coming up. We said his name a lot of times last week, and he came up through the line of scrimmage. He's a quick outside linebacker, Nick, and he came in and made that play.
Yeah, Lee made a lot of really, really nice plays against the Eagles last week. He was definitely something to be keeping an eye on for the Grizzlies here this week. Lee, the senior, here tonight on senior night.
So all on the ground, too, for the Grizzlies. After that one, little pass out to the flare pass, it went a little short.
Let's see, handoff one more time.
Oh, this
inside.
speed.
Bounce to the outside. Nice job of holding onto that ball, protecting that ball. Once again, could not get away from those pursuing linemen and linebackers of the Pioneers.
It wasn't for a lack of effort, though. That was smart for Wilson to bounce it outside. Unfortunately, that was just better defense by the Pioneers. You can see right here, good job of initial blocking, but you see how the play gets strung out to the outside, and good job of containment there by the corner.
Morgan Tinsley with the eventual takedown there for the Pioneers. And now we've got 3rd and 7 from the 11-yard line here for the Grizzlies.
You might want to see the Grizzlies take something as opposed to bouncing it outside. Get it up inside in between those tackles. That's where you can see some gash plays.
Handoff one more time up the middle, slips through a few defenders, picks up a couple of yards.
Flags on the play.
And we do have flags on the play now. Saw you grab your wrist there looking for a hold on this
yeah,
one. Yeah,
you saw it getting thrown from one of the back judges, and that's usually where a good vision for a hold coming in there. And again, we're not seeing a lot of penalties, but that's a costly one right there.
Most definitely. Again, that's going to push them back that 5, back to the 16-yard line now. And going to put them in an interesting position if they do not pick up this first down.
It looks like that. It looks like a guard, but a lot of people, because you can see the flag come right in towards number 54, the guard, and it looks like when he wrapped up on the initial, latched up on the defender, kind of had too much jersey.
Ball now on Pioneers 22.
And now from the 22-yard line with 17 to go here for the Grizzlies.
Well, this is a strong second possession for the Grizzlies, just churning upfield, man.
Letting that one big monster play doesn't hurt, that's for sure. Thrown up the middle, looking for the man in the slot. Couldn't just let him just a little too much. That was actually Chris Taylor back there making that throw.
Yeah, and on that play, you saw one of the linebackers come in on a blitz, opened it up right over the top. But if the quarterback goes to the other side and there's actually a man streaking, and you'll see him come in late, wide open there. And it looks like there was a different quarterback. Is that
that's
10?
Chris Taylor.
Okay.
Chris Taylor. Looking for Trayvon McGee on that one. I think he was just dialed into McGee. I don't think he wanted to.
Yeah,
was worried about anybody else. I think he just saw that up the middle, and that was it for him.
Well, sometimes in practice, you're throwing that play, and you're getting there, and you're getting getting used to it. But you got to read that linebacker.
And here they go, going for it, fourth down here. The Grizzlies tossed into coverage, heavy, strong coverage by the Pioneers. Defensive back almost pulled that one away, but not quite.
Yeah, it looks like some drizzle now is coming down out there, Nick, and it looked like the offensive player had to turn defender there at the last minute and maybe strip the play before the interception.
There's Taylor receiving that one. Got a decent ball away. But,
yeah, and if he throws that one tall and long, receiver has an effort because he had a step on the defender.
Yeah, I don't know if that one might have just gotten away from him at the last possible moment there. Or, again, might have just been an underrun route one way or another.
Yeah.
Regardless, we got the Pioneers here starting on their 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle, little skip jump over there just past the line of scrimmage.
That was a circle button. I mean, he's running, hit the circle button, and you kind of do that little Donkey Kong move. Watch this. Circle button, I go up in the air.
Hop. Yep, there it is.
See, I don't play bad. I play Tecmo Bowl.
You played the Tecmo Bowl, yeah, of course.
So that was an old Tecmo Bowl move, man.
And we've got 3:14 to go here in this first quarter as the clock continues to run down. East Hope under center here. Once again, another handoff. Halfback tries to get outside, but once again runs directly into 3-4 Grizzlies, not going anywhere.
Stopped by
Jaden Bevier right there in the backfield. Man, another sophomore for these Grizzlies. This is a young squad. You're going to be seeing a lot of these guys. Watch this coming through the linebacker, just clean.
And it's so important for that first man to get a hand on somebody, to even just slow him down a little bit. Again, he was getting pushed away from that blocker, but he got a little bit of an arm on him that enabled the rest of his teammates to come in and wrap him up and bring him down.
Well, the play side linebacker steps up into the hole. Running back has nowhere to go, and that's where you see the backside linebacker come up and finish the play off.
Right, you are 3rd and 3 now for the Pioneers from their own 30-yard line. East Hope's moving to the shotgun. He's got his man, but a man in motion right in front of him. And play is whistled dead. Oh, excuse me, timeout. Timeout by the Pioneers now. With 2:18 left to play here in this first quarter. Pioneers going to go over to the sideline.
Well, Nick, always, I'd like to think and send a big shout out to some guys that really help us out on our broadcast. And that's those folks over at WeLoveAnnArbor.com. They're doing a great job of helping us out, prepare for the games. You need some help for these information. I love their logo right there, too. I mean, if you're in the area and you're watching this game online, hopefully you're liking our stuff, but also make sure you visit those guys as well.
And once you're done with that, if you're still on your computer, still looking at your phone, can't get away, make sure to follow us or check out all of our stuff on youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor. Be friends with us on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. The Twitter, as the kids say, I think.
Is it the now?
Nah, that's just what I say.
Nick, you're way too young to be calling them the kids. Man. Come on. That's my job. And they don't get on my lawn. Maybe in a couple weeks, though. I love the trick-or-treat. That's fun, man.
There it is. Favorite candy?
Starburst Orange.
Ooh, like it. Like it. A lot of people go with the pink, but I'm with you. I'm more of the orange or the red. Yeah.
That's golden.
And we've got some of the Pioneer faithful out there. You got the student section, clearly. Maybe not as huge as it might be on a different night, but the diehards are out there right now.
Man, it's the last time they get to see their seniors, too.
Yeah.
So they got to send some of these seniors off for some of those senior football players to be walking in the hallways and be asking questions. Why weren't you at my game?
Right.
I'm at your water polo game. Come on.
That's right. More laundry on the field there. Once again, another... Seems like a false start there by the Pioneers.
And for a team, Nick, that's lost 3 in a row last game at home, sometimes that's not, the concentration and focus right now isn't there. We didn't see these kind of penalties last week when they had something on the line, the city championship. I wonder how tough it was for these guys to get through the week of practice.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Beller has been talking an awful lot about a bounce-back game here for them. And now 3rd and 7. East Hope comes back, rolls out, looking across his body. Little toss to that man's cut right at the middle, cuts upside the field, gets about to the 44-yard line. Nice play all around for the Pioneers.
Check out the way East Hope rolls out to the left. And we always say this is a tougher pass for a right-handed QB. He takes his time. Look at him turn those shoulders, Nick. Throws a real good ball to lead the receiver. You don't see that too often out of a young quarterback.
And great job by Joel Pingle there to get that, bring that in, turn up field, and pick up an extra 5-8 yards on that after that reception as well.
And I always say they're tougher players up north because you got to play in the elements.
Yeah.
So, he's doing that in the elements, the quarterback and the receiver.
And first down for the Pioneers. East Hope gets that, hands the one back off. Jet sweep back up the middle. Pulls up about 6-7 yards there for the Pioneers.
Well, it's kind of hard to fault the runner on that play, but it did look like he had a bunch of blockers going towards the outside on that play, and he kind of turned it up maybe a bit too soon on that play.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Again, it's hard to say, man, I don't want you to give me 8 yards on first down.
No, definitely not. But again, as a coach, you're always telling your guys to try to improve, look for that next thing. 8 yards is great, but it could have been 12.
Yeah.
Could have been a first down. But regardless, you are correct. 2nd and short here, 2nd and 3, as the clock cuts down to about 1 minute moving down. Oh, the ball stripped away, loose ball. Ball on the ground, and it sure seems like the Grizzlies got their down ahead of the Pioneers.
I think that was Alonzo Holy. He came in and just took a big swipe there at Danico Harris, and the ball's actually going to go back to the Pioneers. Man, we might have to take a look at that one, Nick.
Well, and again, more than anything, it's obviously with football, you get in that scrum, whoever has it last. But I'm curious if you ever really had good, solid possession of it.
Oh, he has the ball. And that was just a tackle. That was an above-average play. Because he wraps him up, slows him down, strips the ball away, and then, like you say, everybody's in there just pulling. You can see Lee jumping in there at the last minute. Let me get in there and help out.
But, yeah, that did serendipitously fall to a couple of Pioneers. There were 2 guys right there pretty much at their shoulder pad level as they were coming down. And now we've got 3rd and 7, 15 seconds here to go in this first quarter of action. East Hope throws makes that connect pass right there. Cuts across to the 50-yard line. Not quite a first down, though, but 3 seconds to go as the end of this quarter ticks down. End of the first quarter, Kevin. No scores from either squad, but interesting back and forth. I think both these squads are just feeling each other out. We'll be back shortly. Stick around for second quarter action. CTN's Game of the Week.
Yeah. And they have mismatch day. They had it like it's coming up or it just passed. And I thought to myself, isn't that every day for this age? I think she's mismatch day every day.
Pretty amazed by some of the clothes I put the baby in that I think are going to be cute. And then I'm like, what was I thinking?
I wanna go running.
But my stumpy arms are best suited for browsing a2gov.org/CTN. For real, check us out at a2gov.org/CTN.
Okay, Bob, we got it.
Did you know that CTN welcomes the members of the Ann Arbor City Council to Ward Talk? On the third Wednesday of every month, a different representative from one of the city's 5 wards joins us in the studio to discuss matters important to the people and government of Ann Arbor. Submit your questions for the next episode of Ward Talk by emailing ctn@a2gov.org or visiting our Twitter page at CTN Ann Arbor.
And welcome back to CTN's Game of the Week. Second quarter action about to begin as both squads flip the script, as it were, or flip the field. There's a little bit of confusion coming out after both squads lined up where they were previously, and when the second quarter starts, you don't do that, Kevin. That's not how this works.
I mean, it is only the last game of the year, so the officials are still trying to get their feet up under them.
Everybody's trying to figure it out in game number 9, yeah. And here's the punt away for the Pioneers. Nice end over end. And takes a Pioneer bounce, continues to roll. There will be absolutely sure that that thing has not moved 1 micromillimeter before they down that one.
That was very close to a block on that play, too. I mean, you see the replay. I mean, it looked like if the Grizzlies player just reaches out a little bit, he's going to get some football there.
Yeah, Ypsi's done a really nice job of shooting some gaps when they're available to them.
And the Pioneer punter is so deliberate. He's holding the ball for so long. It seems like and with his head down, he's not looking up. That might be something what the Ypsi coaches might want to take a look at half.
Just a glorious shot there. The ball being set down on the 3-yard line where the Grizzlies will start this drive. But you're right, Kevin. I mean, also, though, as a punter in this kind of weather and these conditions, you kind of need to be deliberate in order to do what you're supposed to be doing.
You're right. Spot on. Oh, there's another ball in the end zone.
That ball in the end zone fumbled away there.
Nice.
We'll see who comes up with that one. We'll see if this is going to be possibly safety or touchdown for the Pioneers. Who came up with that? There it is.
There's
the call. Safety for the Pioneers. It just looked like Naylor, or whoever the quarterback was at that point for the Grizzlies, just obviously never got a hold of it, put it back down on the ground, and there were just Pioneers everywhere on that.
Well, again, the ball hits the quarterback right in his hand, and he didn't secure the ball before he was trying to turn and hand the ball off. And you really want to question maybe not putting the quarterback in that position because he had to do a lot. And he's got his back to the end zone. He's a sophomore. He's already thinking, I got to hold on to this football. So that was a lot going on that play.
And you're right. I think his brain was saying, I need to hand this off. I need to hand this off. And he hadn't even gotten the ball barely before his body was turned. And you're right. There's definitely a lot going on there.
Well, that is, again, attributed to the punt by the Pioneers. You were saying how they let that ball roll to the very last second. Well, that puts pressure on an offense when you have a young quarterback starting with his back against the goal line.
Oh, you never want to be starting a drive in as they say, the shadow of your goalposts. I mean, they were right there, and that's an intimidating thing, seeing all that field in front of you.
And then throw a snap that is not under center, so a shotgun snap coming at you. It's tough.
And here we'll see the kick away from Ypsilanti. Low line drive, but there's a whistle on that. I wonder if there was an offsides
maybe? Yeah, that could have been the only thing because it was a fast whistle.
Yeah, as soon as that ball hit his foot, that whistle went off.
Philosophical question for you, sir.
Ooh, I like this already.
When are we going to get to the point where we follow a lot of the professional and the collegiate ranks? When will our MHSAA association catch up and change the way the kickoffs and the punts to allow, less collisions on these big plays?
I mean, again, the MHSAA is not the most progressive
New
body
leadership
around.
now.
That's true. That's true. And you're right, though. That's something that needs to be coming down, most definitely. If they want this sport to continue to grow,
there you go.
Where it is, they're going to have to take into account injuries, concussions, and the same safety, all the same safety things that are in every other level of the game. You're completely right.
Well, and because parents, we watch these games, we see what's going on, and you see how there's only a varsity on all of these schools that have 2,000 kids walking around in it. That's unheard of.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Head-to-head collision
job.
right there.
There it is, exactly. Nice job absorbing that collision, staying up and keeping moving there. Morgan Tinsley on the reception and then pushing forward for about 15 yards.
Well, the Pioneers are going to have to capitalize on some of this great field position they've had. And that was a good kick for this ball to hit and bounce around.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have all these towering kicks going down the field in conditions like this.
Exactly.
You can put a ball up in the air and it can bounce funky on this ground, and it might turn into one of those squib kind of kicks.
No, again, why not keep up little things like that? Or, their initial kickoff was very low line drive, hard kicked. Both squads have had a difficult time holding onto the ball, receiving the ball.
True.
So that, again, with just some little variations there, why not keep doing that? Handoff there to Tinsley one more time. Might have gotten a couple of yards on that one, but there was a flag thrown.
Yeah, it looks like one of the Grizzlies player got up and wasn't too pleased with somebody, and a quick flag. And I haven't seen any type of, shenanigans after a play. That's what it was. It wasn't any kind of unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's see if we can see this face mask coming in here. Had to be right there. You see his head turn up a little bit, and that's the player who got called on.
Oh, there it is.
Well, maybe it was that. Maybe the second handful of face masks
maybe
was precipitated
or
the flag.
probably the thing that we can see in 360-degree motion. Yes, you might be right.
You can't be the biggest guy out on the field. That's the Ndamukong Suh type of play there. What, me? That was one of my favorite Lions. I missed that guy.
He played hard.
He did. He played like a defensive lineman should play.
Yep. Physical presence, absolutely. East Hope takes the ball, handoff once again. Off tackle to the right, falling forward, picks up again, another couple. Here we'll see that one more time.
That was
like
almost
you said.
Bad acting.
Well,
I mean, come on, really?
If anytime you see a guy with his hands up or his hands off to the side saying, I didn't do it, you know that guy did it. That guy did it every time. And here we go, 2nd and 5 now. Once again, handoff, off tackle right, finds a big hole though. Drops down about another 5 yards, getting closer and closer to that end zone.
And this is old school football. I go and I see a lot of football, Nick, and everybody's spreading everything out. And you got 5 receivers over here, and you got a running back playing quarterback. Right now, this is, line them up, man on man, some base blocking, and just blocking it and running the football, man.
I mean, again, I see where you're coming from, and I like what you're coming from, and I like definitely what Pioneer's up to right here, right now. But again, when you have a quarterback like East Hope, it's interesting and it's fun to see what that young man can do, because we've seen him come out, roll out a little bit, make some interesting throws, make some really quality throws. They're going to keep the ball on the ground. There it is. Nice move to the left. Gets brought down right in front of the end zone.
Yeah, some nice moves there by Luke Rogers. But the one thing that you do like to see right here is that the offensive line is churning. They're possessing the ball and keeping the big play ability of Ypsi on the sideline right now. And, you know what? In these conditions, you may not feel comfortable throwing the ball. And lastly, it's your game plan. It's your game plan. Whatever you saw on film you think your team can do, no matter if you have a guy that can throw for 500, you do what you think your team can do.
And that was just an enormous hole that they opened up for him. And here we go, first down, 1 yard to go from the 1 yard line. East Hope looks for his man, couldn't quite figure out what happened to him. Tries to make a little something of his own, but ran into quite a few Grizzlies.
Oh, that was a hot mess right from the beginning. Everybody didn't know which way to go. Look at this. Oh, that's all QB it looked like. It looked like the QB opened up on the wrong side because the offensive line shot out and they were going to the left. Running back is going to the left. QB opens up and he looks like he just opened up the wrong side there, Nick.
Yeah, that's a great assessment, especially taking a close look at those linemen. You're right on. Everybody on the field knew what was going on.
Yeah, it looked like a straight dive to the left.
Yeah.
And East Hope looked like he may have just opened up wrong on that play.
And again, those little things will happen from time to time. Only lost a yard on it. So we've got 2nd down and goal from the 2. East Hope once again, a little pitch to his running back. Hits him kind of in the face mask though. Nice job of him to stay with that and end up falling on it.
Is that Rogers again?
That is Luke Rogers one more time.
Yeah, what's going on? I know it's drizzling out here, but I mean, a lot of mishandling of footballs by both teams.
Well, and I think Rogers was just a step too early on that one because again, it seemed on the right timing, but he was just one step too close.
Seemed like he's cut to the line of scrimmage and the ball kind of surprised him.
Possibly.
Sometimes that means you're not looking at the ball. He needs to secure the ball first before he's cut downfield. That may be the case. I'm not sure.
But no, that's a great assessment. You could be spot on with that one. And the Pioneers drop back another few yards. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line now. East Hope takes the snap.
Oh, wide
rolls
open.
out a little bit, sees a man in the end zone. Very well defended there.
Oh,
Very
you're
well
right.
defended by Trayvon McGee on that one.
Wow, he really made up some ground because on the snap it looked like that little flag pattern was going to be open. Right here, you can see a lot of turf out there, and it looked like if the ball's thrown now, and the ball's thrown a little behind him too. It hit him in his hands, but the ball's thrown a little behind him because the receiver had to slow down.
And maybe a little bit, but you're right. Trayvon McGee made up a lot of ground very quickly. That was a really nice defensive play for him to see where that was going and then, make up that extra space.
Well, there's a lot going on here for the snapper, the holder, and the kicker, and that's one of our favorite kickers.
Snap, hold, kick is up.
That's good.
And that's a good one. And one of your more unlikely scores currently, 5-0 Pioneers.
Well, it is the season for, postseason baseball. I know you're a big baseball fan.
True.
I mean, so maybe, October.
And solid job by Ypsilanti on that one. Again, it would have been really easy for them to hang their heads, get a little discouraged after that safety. But
they're one play away.
Yeah.
One play away. And last week we saw a 99-yard run play. We saw kinds of passes like tonight, ricocheting off of shoulder pads and getting caught. So we got a lot of football left to be played, and this is only a one-score game.
Right, you are about that. I'm curious to see how either of Ipsy's QBs come back from that line of scrimmage and see what they can do throwing the ball down the field. I mean, we've definitely seen Naylor with his ability to run. We've seen Taylor once or twice, get an opportunity to go back and make a couple of throws, but nothing particularly long. See if they can open that up. That's an opportunity for them.
Yeah, and you said it in that first quarter. They had that one big splash play. And then they had that it was during that real sustained drive of about 8 to 10 play drive. That's what Ypsi needs to get back to. And it would give their defense a break from being on the field for so long because Pioneer has been running and trying to pound on that defensive line.
Right, you are. Once again, old school football. You got the old guy out there holding the ball. Love that. Low, hard kick picked up by the Ypsilanti player. Tries to break down outside, shakes off a couple of would-be tacklers before being knocked down.
Strong run.
I believe Yi-Hoon Lee.
Yeah, I think the kicker on that one even, took his shoelaces and pulled it on the toe and did one of those little toe kicks. High and tight with the ball. Good job here of breaking tackles and running upfield. Watch this in here.
Slips between them right there. We never say die for
Gave somebody a little
Morgan
piggyback
Tinsley
ride,
there,
too.
yeah. Tinsley got there and he held on. Just enough time for one of his teammates to come in and help bring him down.
Is it too early for a big brother comment?
Nah,
little brother?
never
'Cause,
too early for that in
That
Ann
kind of
Arbor.
looked like the little brother was hanging on for dear life.
There's snap, got away, picked up by the halfback, picked up smoothly by the halfback, got nearly back to the line of scrimmage.
Fumbled snap.
However, there is a flag in the backfield.
Emerson Wilson ended up with the ball.
Let's take a look at this. And again, that one's on the center. That was rolled
Owen
back
Aldrich
there.
makes the tackle.
Heads up play there.
Yeah, really nice job by Wilson to pick that up and just off and running, as they say.
Well, that's what we were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, that Wilson only on 16 carries. He was averaging about 8 yards a carry last week. Guy got big playability. What we need to see out of the Grizzlies right now is a couple good blocks and get that kid on the second level.
Yeah, I mean, again, he seems to have a strong head on his shoulders, seems to have a nice sense of what's going on around him. So, again, to be able to assess what had happened there, picks that ball up and just shoots right up the middle. He doesn't get nervous, doesn't get scared, doesn't, move his feet around too much in the backfield. He just grabbed it and moved forward like he's supposed to do.
And he's probably, it says $165 on the roster. Ooh, that's, I mean, but he does possess a lot of quick burst and quick twitch. You saw that on that play. So you want to get guys like that in open space, because we've said it again numerous times on the CTN Game of the Week. If you're playing in inclement conditions like this, the offense has the advantage.
Right, you are. An offense that doesn't have much of an advantage right now, the Grizzlies starting 1st and 30 right now.
Yeah, good field position, but they're going backwards with these penalties.
Nice handoff there. Once again, another flag. At the top end of your screen there. Possibly another hold.
What's up, Holmes? Christopher Holmes on the tackle. Man, did he just square him up in the hole. Watch number 5 here, folks. He meets the runner. Whoosh!
Great job. And it's what we come back to. It seems like game after game with you, Kevin. Just a great job of him meeting him, like you said, arms around him, wraps him up, and brings him down. Yes. Got the pack of zebras there discussing this one up.
They're ordering dinner.
Speaking of dinner, you brought pizza for the whole team tonight. That's huge, man.
Man,
you're the MVP of this one.
You guys take so much good care of me. Why not?
You're my player of the game.
Nice. See, it's working.
Yeah, we'll have the announcement here.
League participation. Got too many guys out there.
Continue to be first down. They lose 5 on that, or is it 10?
Illegal participation call on the.
You usually see that on the defensive side. That's odd to catch it on the offensive side, you know?
And I'm curious if that's what the whole confab before that was about.
Yeah, they were discussing,
is this a thing?
what?
How does this work?
Yeah.
Is this the correct call for what this guy did, probably?
And that's one of those things when you're got a guy subbing in, they got to call somebody off the field, and somebody basically just didn't get off the field.
Yeah. And Ypsi backed up to their own 10-yard line now. Still first down for him.
Oh, wow.
Just couldn't quite find the handles on that one.
Man, Coach Parker has to be livid about the ball security right now. So many balls on the ground, and we've had wet weather the last 2 weeks. This is the first time these guys have played in some slick footballs.
And that snap looked good. The handoff looked pretty clean. I think it just hit the jersey and it was sliding around there, and then it just slipped on out.
Yeah, and it's not like there was a defender right there in the vicinity to make something happen.
And for what it's worth now, 2nd and 39 from about the 6-yard line there.
And with these snaps, you really got to be cautious if you're the Grizzlies, because of the last, you just gave up a safety.
There's the snap. Quick outlet pass there. Hits the man in the slot, fell forward, got a couple of yards there for him. I wonder if Coach Parker's thinking the same thing that you just said. You know, I'm nervous being this close down to the end zone. I'd just like to be safe, make a couple of safe plays, and maybe we can punt the ball away.
Well, you don't want to definitely give up any kind of points in this possession right now, because momentum is really starting to stack up over on the Pioneer sideline, and especially if they can get some points and basically owning this first half of the second quarter.
And I think just the frustrations might be there for the Grizzlies as well. I mean, just being able to run an adequate play on that last one. Good snap, good throw, clean reception. You know, just try to start building some things right here. Another cleanly received snap. Tosses out in that slant before being knocked out of bounds by the Pioneers.
I think they heard you on that play, Nick, because you had a perfect snap, you had a good route there, you had the QB gather himself before he throws the ball, and a good throw.
Yeah, good solid reception there. Again, as a high reception, guys both hands on it though, brought it down, turned upfield, made the football move.
Oh, that was a positive play all the way around, even good protection from the offensive line.
And all things considered, now we've got 4th and 27 as the Grizzlies are about to punt the ball away.
And securing the ball, it looks like we might have a timeout here. Timeout on the Pioneers. You know what they're talking about, right? There has not been a clean snap in the last couple plays. We got to get pressure, and this is an opportunity for us to really get after this snap.
And the last Ypsi punt wasn't the greatest thing around either. So
yeah.
Again, everybody needs to keep their heads in the game, be aware of where the ball is and where the ball could possibly be.
Yeah.
You don't want that thing. You don't want to be a blocker trying to block your man. You turn around, all of a sudden, thing just doinks off your helmet or off your back as well.
That's Coach Parker right there, explaining to his team. Saw him a couple years back coach the Ann Arbor Hurons' last victory.
Wow.
Back about 1,500 and some odd days ago.
That
number's on my mind. It's on a mirror in the River Rat households around. It's a clock that just goes the wrong way.
Keeps ticking away.
Yeah, it's going the wrong way. I thought they had a countdown clock, man. Come on. Come on home there, Coach Parker. We might need you. I digress.
There it is. There it is. It's tough to be River Rat lately on the football field. I get it.
It's been a tough decade, man.
Hey, man, basketball's right around the corner.
Thank you. Coach Samaha.
Really nice punt there, yeah. Received just beyond the 50-yard line. Pulled down nicely. He breaks out to about the 38-yard line, I'd say.
Great field position once again for the Pioneers. And the Tinsley, he was really one player away from taking that one to the house.
Yeah, he caught that with a full head of steam. Found a nice opening.
Still a scary snap there. Good job from the punter going over and locating that ball. Right there. That tackle right there might have saved it.
Yeah, he had one or two guys 75 there. I'm not sure if he would have had the speed to get
he was a bigger
full
guy.
head on
Yeah.
Tinsley. You're right about that.
Watch a splash play right out of this. You know the Pioneers haven't gone up top yet.
No, you're right. And Ypsilanti seems to be pretty tight up against that line. Regardless, handoff straight up the middle.
Luke Rogers carries.
A lot of Rogers tonight. You know, we're not seeing that much out of Harris. We saw a lot of him last week, you know, and he seemed to be more of the faster of the runners.
Yeah, I wonder if Harris has some sort of nagging injury possibly, or something could be going wrong. They want to focus on him more on the defensive side of things.
True.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. 4:49 left to play here in this first half.
East Hope back there checking with everybody. Now this might be a pass.
Making sure everybody knows where they're going. Play action, rolls off to the side with a man right in his face, tosses it downfield. Well out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a good job of pressure by the Grizzlies coming in and affecting that throw. East Hope did not have an opportunity to set his feet right when he was trying to release the ball. There's a defender all in his grill.
See, on him immediately. Nobody even put a hand on him, it seemed like.
And that receiver, whoever it was really trying to catch the ball. I mean, before it bounced out of the stadium because he was well out of bounds.
Yeah, you get locked into that thing. You got a job to do. Let's go catch that ball.
Well, the field is only 53.5 feet wide. And they don't make, this is not a Canadian field. I mean, come on. You're out of bounds, son.
You got 3rd and 9 here for the Pioneers. East Hope under center. Oh, they got a false start there. 3 jump. There's Harris, who we were just talking about.
I want to bet the play was coming to him. I mean Harris was anxious to get going. That was the play before.
No, that was a false start right there.
Yeah.
Harris just a little out of frame there, just below that wide shot there in the field.
And that was an interesting call on the 3rd down play to be, you know, not even a draw. That was a straight just lead. Really.
Yeah. Again, I mean, you know, maybe Coach Bellers feels that the run has been established enough. Maybe he's seeing something in that Ypsilanti defense where he thinks he can exploit. Handoff there one more time, bounces to the outside, but could not get around those Grizzly defenders.
I'm not sure if Coach Bellers doesn't mind punting the ball and keeping Ypsi with their backs to that end zone, because what trouble they've had with the center exchange. You know, a lot of balls coming funky back to the quarterback. Or I'm not going to blame a lot on the quarterback. I mean, on the center, because a lot of them hit the quarterback in his hands.
No, and I think you could be right on. They might be just completely content to punt this away as far as, you know, just working for the field possession. Again, hoping possibly that the Grizzlies continue to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit.
A little poison there.
Nice punt away there. Down by Owen Aldridge, about the 15-yard line. I'm sorry, 25.
Well, you might want to say another little pep talk to the Grizzlies. After you said it last time, they executed well. And that's what's missing right now out of their sideline. They've had some good field position. Not this set right here, but it's that center exchange. And it seemed, Nick, like it's almost on every possession where they're getting a negative play. And it's not just 10 yards. They're going for 20 yards on their series.
No, killer plays, most definitely. And a couple, you know, seems like back-to-back, like compounding problems. But again, if they can come up with a few cleanly executed plays, you know, we've seen some pretty nice things from them. There's that handoff, spin away, but great job by the Pioneer defender to hold on, not let that spinaroo work to its intended use.
I wonder who that player was. I can't tell which player got into the play. Garrett? I mean, it looked like it was something like a Jordan Garrett, because Jordan Garrett made the play.
Never would have guessed. Never would have guessed by that reaction.
How could you figure that one out?
He's excited.
That's
He's
a
having
good job.
a good time.
He did a great job of filling the hole.
Says it's senior night. I'm a junior, but that's okay. Look at me for a minute. No gain on that one for the Grizzlies. We got 2nd and 10 now. 2:55 to go here in this first half.
Really spread out here. It looks like a pass play coming out of the Grizzlies in there. We get some. Do we have too many guys out there? Because we got a player.
Flag deep in the defensive end.
So it looked like it was a delay of game.
There it is.
When haven't we seen Ypsi with their backs to the goal line since that one big drive they had, and Pioneer stopped them from getting into the end zone? Huge. I mean, they really haven't been able to get any kind of sustained drives going because they keep stumping themselves in the foot with either a penalty on that play or maybe a missed snap.
No, I mean, again, you're right, and I don't really know what else I could say for the Grizzlies or about the Grizzlies. You know, that's just what we've seen just over and over these last few drives. Again, you know, they started off the game looking very promising with what they were doing. You know, getting some quarterback options or just quarterback keepers shooting right up the gap. You definitely see that they've got some talent there, but these miscues are just killing them. And that's got to be demoralizing in that huddle right there. Whether you're an offensive lineman, whether you're wide out, whoever it might be, you're just getting frustrated seeing these things, whether it's penalties or kind of a silly penalty like that last one. It's just going to get frustrating. So again, they just have to keep working, small step by small step, executing maybe not even one play at a time, but just executing one portion of a play at a time and try to build on that and build on that. They are only down 5 points.
Exactly. Still one score away. Don't want to lose your mind, but this quarter has been pretty ugly. UGLY ugly. And they really want to make some positive plays, get some orange slices at halftime, and get back out there in the second half and feel good. You still have something to play for in this season, and right now the Pioneers are playing spoiler.
Yep. 2nd and 15 here.
Good
Man
pass.
drops back. Hits him right in the hands and chest, just couldn't quite pull it down.
It's almost like the players for the Grizzlies, they see the play and it just speeds up right for them, right when they need to execute the most. And again, that play right here, this is what you need to do to make third down easy for you. Look at that ball.
And that
it's right on the spot.
Yep. Taylor to Naylor there. Naylor, the would-be quarterback runner, seemed to be an integral part of this Grizzlies offense, but just couldn't quite bring that one down.
And that play right there really hurts you because it stops the clock, which will give a lot of time if you don't get a first down for the Pioneers.
Hashtag analysis on that one. You are spot on right there. 3rd and 15, and as you said, stops the clock for a very hungry Pioneers team right here. See, Taylor takes that, got a few seconds there, finds his man up the middle, just couldn't quite get it to where he needed to be. Not a terrible pass being down and kind of away from the defender there, but just a little bit too much Taylor there. That's a good ball.
Well, it's a good ball. If you saw his footwork, though, he was well off balance, and that's why that ball just died on him there. He didn't have his feet up underneath him, and when he throws the ball, it's like a pitcher. It got almost to the plate. It just was a bit short.
Bounced up there. You're right.
So here's another opportunity. I'm not sure if I'm the Pioneers, I would put all 11 on the line of scrimmage, Nick. The punt's going to get to the 50 anyway. I would be trying to block this if I'm a defensive special teams coach now.
That's a bold call. I like that.
Hey, onside kicks, go for a punt block. That's me, baby. That's me. Gunslinger.
Yeah. Good punt away for the Grizzlies right there. Takes the Grizzly bounce. Downs it right there, and Pioneers with 2:33 to work with here. Got a little bit of a ways to go. A little bit of a ways to go if they want to make something happen.
Yeah, and we would be saying a great execution for the Pioneers, but it's been a lot of mistakes in the second half by the Grizzlies. So the Pioneers have really just been on the spot, but they're not really doing anything really to take over the game.
No, we're not seeing a lot of forced fumbles or like punching the ball away or great tackles where you put the helmet on the ball where you're supposed to be or interceptions or anything like that, right? It's a lot of unforced errors out there.
Truly. And you would think with what is at play here tonight that it would be a lot more of that going on for the Pioneers than for the Grizzlies.
Nonetheless, here we'll see the Pioneers starting this drive from about their own 41-yard line. See what they can dial up here with 2 minutes and some change to go. Handoff up the middle, brought down by just a whole den of Grizzlies on that one.
A den of Grizzlies.
That was on purpose.
Okay, I'm going to say that one. I mean, it didn't flow, but it fit.
I practiced it.
But it
Thank
fit.
You. Thank you.
And you saw in that whole play there just a breakdown by the offensive line for the Pioneers. I mean, it was a meeting at the ball carrier for every Ypsilanti defender. Watch this right here. You see the jailbreak coming in linebacker. Play side came in, slowed him down, and then who wants some?
Right,
everybody had to eat.
Clock will continue to run down. We're at 1:48 now. 2nd and 9 for the Pioneers. Curious to see if they try to air it out. Do have 3 wide receivers out there and possibly a halfback in motion.
I think they're going to cause some movement there on the outside by the wideouts. They were both rocking before the play, and you can see the false start call.
Well, and again, we were talking about unforced errors. That's a couple here now by the Pioneers.
Yeah, and you can see on the bottom of the screen, the players are rocking. You can see the player at the top of the screen there, kind of jitter again. That, to me, is unexcusable. I mean, you know, you're on the outside. It's not even a hard count. Why are you moving that fast, and why are you getting a false start, Mr. Receivers?
And especially since it seemed like that was going to be a handoff anyway.
Up the middle.
Right.
Maybe they were anxious to get on their blocks. That's it.
I'm sure.
I got to get him.
What wide receiver isn't anxious to get out on the blocks? Of course. East Hope takes that ball in standard. One more time, a handoff up the middle. Great job by the Grizzlies to just grab him, hold him. I think he lost his head. Lost his head. Player's head on the ground. Gotta watch out for that.
Number 59. Is that 59 again? Who was that on the tackle? 56 on the play again. He just, baby, here, watch this. I mean, is that a face mask?
It looked like it might have been initially.
Or is that a helmet takeoff? I mean, because he didn't. If he did grab onto the face mask, he let go immediately.
Yeah, I don't think that he held it too long. He definitely twisted the helmet a little bit. But regardless, he stuck with it, kept a hand on him just long enough for, again, to get some teammates in there and help bring him down.
And the Pioneer coaching staff are on the field. They want to know about this. Look. That's in the ear hole right there. And he spun him around. He might have a little of the helmet. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. He's got a lot of helmet there.
Well, now he's got no helmet left.
Well, and look at this. Are you kidding? I'm a lead official. I know what's going on here. Are you kidding me? I was right there. It's all Jersey. He's wrong because he's not. Wait till he sees it on the CTN
when he
replay,
catches this on
he's
YouTube.
Gonna be like, man, I missed that one.
No, Beller's. Oh man, the bane of every official's statement the next day. Man, I missed that one. Yeah, Coach Beller's there knows that he missed that play. Just moving forward here.
So after a timeout, does the player get to come back on? He lost his helmet, so he has to miss a play. But then you got a timeout in there, so Harris should be able to come back out onto the field.
I do not see him out there though. One more time, handoff up the middle. A little bit of extra room there for the ball carrier. Slip slides ahead. Gets about back to the original line of scrimmage.
That was better blocking there on the play side. There's a big hole there by the tackle on the right. The right tackle for the Pioneer does a great job of turning his man onto the inside. That was a solo block, too. Another timeout, it looks like.
Yeah, with fourth down imminent. Maybe Ypsi takes that one. They've got themselves a...
Of course.
How much time we have left here? 1:25 left to go.
Well, you've been saying it all night, Nick. They're only one score away. So, I mean, you get your hands on the ball if you're one of the playmakers. Why not give your playmaker an opportunity if you're Coach Parker?
Yeah, we've seen the big play capabilities from Ypsilanti. Most definitely have. It's just, again, about them doing something clean and executing that.
Oh, clean is the word. No penalties here.
As well as the football team and cheer squad member.
High snap, nice job bringing it down. Real high kick on that one. Takes an Ypsi bounce. Oh, the Ypsi player picked it up and then coughs it back up after dropping it.
Man, that's not going to work out well for the Grizzlies.
And that was just I don't know, just wanting to be the hero on that one?
Yeah, but...
Here we'll see an extremely high.
So was it on the
punt.
bounce though? Because of a muffed kick, he can pick it up like this, and it would not be picked.
No,
Let's see. Oh man,
that was just sitting there, and he decided to go for it.
And again with the gloves on his hands, and it looks like even one of his own players was thinking, "This is a dead ball."
Yeah.
Didn't you see 56? He was like, "I can't believe what I'm seeing here." After a timeout too, ball security had to be on Coach Parker's mind.
I mean, again, you'd have to think so, but a scenario like that probably doesn't come up in the huddle.
Wow. I mean, you like players to go out there and make a play, right?
Sure.
So
No,
you
want
don't want to say, oh, don't ever go make a play. But wow, control the ball if you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might have been better off just falling on that. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, just leave that thing. You know,
So
next thing is what you do is fall on it.
So
And
now we
we've
have
got
a
the ball
penalty
moving.
too. So the penalty had to go against the Pioneers after
Clearly.
that because it's marked off. I'm not sure what that was,
I
but it
mean,
was a 15-yard penalty, so it had to be an unsportsmanlike value.
Unsportsmanlike personal foul of
Something.
some sort. Now we got 1:12 left to go. Pioneers starting on their own 23 after that huge penalty and just almost a head scratcher.
Well,
of a play.
you see the difference on the defensive backs that we saw with Huron or even with Skyline last week in Pioneer. They're playing a zone out here, so East Hope can't just go back into the pocket and locate a man downfield and sling it like he was doing last week.
No, I think you're right about that. He's they didn't. Coach Bellers or East Hope, both of them offensive coordinators, same deal. Like they might not be able to see anything, they pick anything apart. But again, I doubt you'd see anything on this play anyway. Like let's just keep the ball.
Yeah.
Let's not give anything up. Hold on to it and let's just run this first quarter out and let's see what we can do next half.
Yeah, and we've had so many balls that have been on the carpet from both teams. They operate out of shotguns, so I mean it's tough sledding for the center as well as the quarterback. And then you have a quarterback that has to get these snaps and then make an exchange quickly to a running back.
Right, whether it's exactly making the exchange to a running back, and then you have to count that running back has their footing properly as well, because I mean timing is clearly everything on plays like that, which we've seen some miscommunications on both ends there as well.
And that, when you have a lot of things that are stubbing you in the foot, and one time it's the snap, one time maybe it's a flag, man, that is demoralizing for the team, maybe demoralizing for the guys that are doing their job. And that's what Coach Parker's going to have to do at halftime when he goes in and talks to his players, not lose them. Guys, we're one play away from getting into this ball game, one score away from being up.
Well, and again, that's the one positive that he can dangle in front of his team right now. If he does see those guys that are hanging their heads, that young man isn't hanging his head. He's hyped. He's ready to go. He's ready to get back
Wilson.
out there.
Yeah, Emerson Wilson's ready to tote that rock. That's what he wants to do. Keep them legs loose.
Exactly. But again, if he does start to see those heads hang, if he does start to hear those negative words, I mean, that's how he grabs a guy. Like, look, we're down by 5 points.
Yeah.
5 points. Like you said, that's one play, and we're ahead.
Yeah.
And we've seen that capability from Ypsilanti. It's just about they need to execute that one play.
And we haven't seen the big plays out of the Pioneers that we've been accustomed to after seeing them 2 times on our CTM games of the week. We've seen East Hope, throw 200-plus yards both games that we've had them here, and we haven't seen 20 yards tonight.
No, you're right. There's East Hope there in the play action. Rolls out to his right, a favorable running position. He's pointing his man downfield. Long toss. And I'm curious if that might be a hold. Well, it's definitely going to be a hold on one of those 2 young men down there, if it's on the offensive or the defensive end. I feel like both of them were jostling a little bit down there.
Yeah, and it's always tough for the officials, but it usually goes to the offensive player, and they'll call it on the defender when both players are tagged up like that. Man, it looks like there was some offensive holding back there in the backfield.
Yeah, for East Hope to be able to get that extra couple of strides to get that ball away, there might have been a little bit of a holding down along that offensive line.
It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot as a foul. The spot is the 30.
I think we jinxed ourselves at the beginning of the game.
Oh, man, did we ever.
When we were talking about no penalties, and last week we got to the second half. We didn't have any penalties.
Yeah, I think we're making up for last week's penalties with this game this evening.
It's either that or these officials. That guy right there, he told me. He's like, Kevin, I want to be on the CTN Sports Game of the Week so bad. You know what? If you don't give me an interview, I'm just going to throw a flag every other play.
Get my good side. Get my good side.
And I told him I can't find it.
Oh, I see what you did there. Very nice. Very nice. Now 49 seconds to play here in this first half CTN Game of the Week.
For Coach Bellers right now, you don't want to make a mistake on this side of the field. We were saying that about the Grizzlies earlier, and right now this is where you go into these kind of plays. You just take it to the second half.
There it is. There it is. The we're done with this thing for this half. Take the knee. That'll drop the clock down to 40 seconds as it continues to move down. You're going to have to pull out another one of those.
Yeah, one more.
Snap, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11.
But same formation there.
Yeah, this position, this formation, I really like it, but not this.
Not here,
the
not
game.
the first half.
Yeah,
No,
not
not
the first
what's
half.
going on.
Not in the first half.
Yeah, everybody likes the victory formation, but not here. But I think that's kind of a merciful end to this first half. It's had some back and forth plays, but again, not the most cleanly executed half that we've seen here on CTN's Game of the Week. That said, stick around. Next half, there's going to be a lot going to be happening. There's plenty to be positive about. Stick around, and we'll see you guys for the second half.
Seniors and a 13 senior.
Let me ask you a question. What do you value? How about access to your child's education, their football game, their swim meet, their high school musical, their academic future? Does that matter? What about your access to your government, your police, fire, and public safety, parks and recreation activities, state and local officials, the folks you elect to make decisions for your community? Is that worth anything to you? What about your rights, freedom of speech, to communicate your message, to let your voice be heard? That's got to count for something, right? So let me ask you again, what do you value? How about public, educational, and government access television? It belongs to you. Let's keep it that way.
In residential areas surrounding the University of Michigan, it's commonplace to see upholstered furniture on porches. So I'd like to talk to you about the dangers of combustibles on porches. To sustain a fire, you need 3 things: fuel, anything combustible or flammable; heat, an ignition source; and oxygen. For a fire to ignite and continue to burn, all 3 elements must be present. Porches do not have early warning devices like smoke detectors. And with a fuel source like old sofas, chairs, and trash storage, this is a recipe for danger. Heat will radiate to the upholstered furniture, causing a rapid buildup of heat and gases. Fire needs oxygen to burn, and it will travel toward the nearest oxygen source. Fire can spread quickly, blowing out windows and spreading into a house. With a ready supply of oxygen, fire is allowed to burn freely. As long as a free-burning fire has fuel, it will double in size every 45 seconds. This fire burned rapidly, but upholstered furniture outdoors is even more susceptible to fire due to weathering, giving it the potential to spread at an alarming rate. Heat and smoke will rise to the highest point and then begin to spread outward to the ceiling of a room or up the stairs to the second floor, causing a chimney effect. At ceiling level, temperatures in a fire can reach up to 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. At this level, temperatures are around 800 degrees. That's why it's important to stay low. first priority of the Ann Arbor Fire Department is the safety of all its citizens. So don't keep anything on the porch that can give a fire the fuel it needs to grow.
Battalion 2 to dispatch. Fire's under control. Everyone's out safe.
I just wish there was some place I could watch my favorite local TV shows.
Wow! Cool, where am I?
You are in a computer terminal.
Who said that?
I am the god of computers. I heard your wish and granted you access to my terminal.
Really? I've always wanted to be inside one of these things. So what's next?
Visit CTN's and the City of Ann Arbor's streaming and video on demand 82gov.org/watchctn.
What do I do there?
Here you can watch city meetings, community produced programs, school board and education programming, and a whole lot more.
Yes! This is great!
The live streams include CTN's 4 channels: government, public, educational, and community. Just click the sidebar for the channel you prefer and click play.
I can watch 4 channels. Cool.
For video on demand, go to youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to find your favorite show, scroll through the mini playlists, or simply use the search bar to type in the name of the program.
I wish I knew about this earlier.
Visit 82gov.org/watchctn for CTN live streams and video on demand.
That's great. Now I can go tell my friends. Once I leave.
Goodbye.
Hello?
And welcome back, everybody, to CTN's Game of the Week. Second half action about to get ready here at Holloway Field between the Pioneers and the visiting Ypsilanti Grizzlies. Kevin, it was an interesting first half, to say the least. As you can see the score right there, it's 5-0 currently. Obviously anybody's game right now, but what did we see that first half?
Too much of those guys. Way too many penalties in that second period, man. We got off to a good start. Looks like we were going to have a shootout that way we had last week. Kind of similar conditions. You know, the weather was kind of a little bit dreary out, but man, so many mishandled snaps, not a lot of clean action, and even for the Pioneers, they haven't had a lot of chances to really execute, and they've had a lot of good field position in the first half. And for the Grizzlies, they really, I'm sure Coach Parker lit into his team about ball security. Let's get the center QB exchange cleaned up, and let's do what we've done the last 3 weeks. They don't look like a team right now that has come in on a winning streak.
And you mentioned the general dreariness, getting a weather report from some of our camera ops on top of the press box here. It has not rained in some time, so it should be dry-ish out there. So hopefully things will continue to stay mistake-free here in the second half. Oh, there's the patented Wisniewski jinx immediately out of my mouth before the fumble. And looks like that'll be an Ypsilanti recovery on that one.
Oof. Coach Bellers might be looking for one broadcaster after the game. Luckily, it's not me. But yeah, you laid it on him right there, right? Watch this. Because it looks like Harris, has the ball fairly secure. And right there on that hit, you see the ball just pop right out. Helmet on the ball there. And it looked like that was number 16 for the Grizzlies.
Well, and that was a nice job by Ypsilanti. That Ypsilanti player got low, hit Harris in his legs, lifted him up a little bit, and then another guy comes in and pops that ball out. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot that Harris is going to do, but, again, you've got to hold on to that. I know it's cold out there, but you've got to secure that, with everything you got. Not just one hand tucked under there, but you need 2 hands to keep that thing.
Yeah, and it's not, I think, more of a slick ball from it being colder outside as opposed to it being a slick ball from the wetness being outside. And you see a lot of these guys out there with gloves and whatnot, but it doesn't seem like, maybe they're older gloves or something, like a golf glove that you need to replace or something, where the tackiness just isn't there, because a lot of the balls are being snapped directly to a player, hitting both hands, and they're just not holding on to the pill.
And an odd situation there where the Grizzlies called, I believe the Grizzlies called that timeout before they'd even run a play yet. I'm not entirely sure what the issue might have been there. Again, maybe they just need to go over exactly what their game plan is going to be for this drive. I'm sure they didn't, they were kicking the ball away. They weren't counting on having the ball here. But still, throwing out that timeout right now, man, when you talk about you want to burn your timeouts, you want to use them, but not this early probably.
Yeah, that had to be an issue with either personnel or the play, because there was an opportunity at halftime to really sit down and calm the guys down for the Grizzlies and maybe design a play. And as Coach Parker wants to get off to a good start, maybe he just didn't see it, and he wants these guys to get off to a good start.
Sure. Flawless execution. They want to make sure that every single thing is where it needs to be. All the I's dotted, T's crossed. And here we'll see them start. Pioneers in on that play strong. Ypsi's QB dips away a little bit, gets maybe just a little short of the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and you had only 5 guys. You got an extra guy. You see on the outside coming in on the blitz there, forces the QB to stand up through the pocket, but immediately did not keep his eyes downfield. You saw he was just trying to really get back to the line of scrimmage.
He was running for his life, I think. Again, you said it properly. He stepped up through that pocket. If he would have maybe just jumped a little bit to the right as opposed to the left, he could have had a nice look downfield, or maybe he could scramble for another 4 or 5 yards. Instead, he went left and found just a few Pioneers right in front of him.
Well, same MO for the Grizzlies to start off with. Not a positive play. Got to clean that up.
2nd and 14 now for the Grizzlies, and multiple players moving on the line of scrimmage there for the Grizzlies. Look like number 9 as well as possibly number 5.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys just not on the same page there, and frustration really setting in on both, not just the guys that made the penalty, but the guys that didn't make the penalty, and that's just as bad. Watch some of these heads hang after this false start.
2nd and 19.
You see the receiver on the end there? Hands right in his head. Yep. Come on, guys. We just talked about this.
Yeah, as you mentioned, definitely not the way they'd want to start off a couple of plays after having such a fortuitous bounce come their way right at the beginning of the second half.
Right now, the Ypsilanti, they're their worst enemy right now.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. We've got Taylor back there in the shotgun. Snapped him, handoff to his halfback. Gets outside, loses that first tackler, loses a couple more before the Pioneers gang up on him.
That was a strong run there, and that'll set up a third manageable after going backwards on your first 2 downs. That's kind of an odd counter. And I wanted to see that replay if the play was designed that way, because you did see some blockers kind of flowing back to the left-hand side, and the running back kind of stops there as he's going to the right and backtracks.
Well, that dude was right in front of him as soon as he got the ball, so the fact that he did turn his hips, turn around, and go around, like if that was scheduled or drawn up that way or not, hard to say. But well done either way. Don't want to run headlong into that guy. 3rd and 10 now for the Grizzlies. From the shotgun one more time. Taylor back there. Fakes the handoff, tries to get outside. Gives a little fake to go back inside. Before eventually deciding to just trot out of bounds. Nothing doing on that scramble.
No, but this is the down and distance where you're just going to have to go for it on 4th down. I wouldn't be trying to punt the ball here. And if I'm the Grizzlies, you saw how the Pioneer linebackers in secondary came up on that play. A hard count may work in the future. They definitely timed that snap count out.
Right. Well, great point. Great point about that. Yeah, the Pioneers were definitely going all blitz on that one. And now 4th and 8. Let's see what Grizzlies pull up on this one. No point in punting this one away. Might as well give it a try. Like I said, it's 4th and manageable.
Doesn't look like we're getting any blitzes. Oh, now we do. Now we do. Wow.
Couldn't quite bring him down on that, though. And the play is caught by number 14. 14 turns upfield, runs in, and takes it to the house for Ypsilanti. Scores the touchdown on 4th and 8.
Berryhill on the reception there, the senior wideout, turns and goes upfield. We've been saying it for the longest, Nick. Grizzlies are only one play away from getting back into this ball game. And you see right here, this you got to wrap up. You just got to wrap up there if you're 25.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he hit him and he put it on him, but I mean, he didn't, like you said, he never even attempted to put his arms around him and try to drag him down in any way.
Yeah, Owen Aldridge there. Just, nobody in his path. The Pioneer outside linebacker comes in, and it looks like he was playing two-hand touch.
And I can't imagine he'd think that, like, this push that I'm going to put on is going to be enough to knock him down. I mean, that's a big kid on the other end.
And that kid, Aldridge, has been playing football. I've been seeing that guy play football since the Mays days.
And we see a little bit of miscommunication on that. Turns around, makes that, and converts the 2-point conversion. And now all of a sudden, Ypsilanti with a 2-point lead.
And all the momentum. We talked about that play last week when we saw a bad snap, and we saw the holder try to reposition the ball for the kicker. When a bad snap happens on an extra point, folks, it's fire drill time. And you see that ball was snapped almost like it was to the kicker.
Yeah, I mean, again, just great heads-up play by everybody.
Everybody executed
squad,
well.
Between him, the holder grabbing that, coming up, looking up immediately.
On
like
the
he
receiver.
wasn't scrambling, and then the receiver darting off into the slant like that.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't know what's going behind. You're trying to get a block, but it's usually something out of the holder screaming a play call. And you can see this is another action of that play. The receiver, watch this catch downfield, folks.
Yeah, great job coming back to the ball, snagging that one, turning upfield. Really good
Downfield
job blocking downfield as well.
Saw that.
And he's excited to be in there.
That's why you love this sport, man. I mean, you could be going and you're going back and forth, nothing really working out for both teams. And just like that, there's a lot of good feelings going on that Grizzly sideline.
And the kick is away, standard low line drive kick to the center of the field. Received by the Pioneers, bounces offside a few players, and bounces back inside before being brought down by the Grizzlies. And now we'll see how the Pioneers respond.
Well, we really have seen a pretty boring offensive attack out of the Pioneers and not really a lot of imagination. And even we've seen the Pioneers, I want to say about, let me do some quick math, 10 quarters so far this season. And I can't think, Nick, of one trick play that we've seen out of them. They like power football. Maybe this is the time, last game of the year, open up the playbook, have something fun for these kids.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to go trick plays, but it's another thing to just, open it up and let East Hope throw the way we've seen him capable of doing. Another handoff there, off tackle, the left-hand side, falls forward, gets about 6 yards on that play.
And it's hard to go away from a play when you're, making positive plays like that. And we haven't seen that much out of the Pioneers. But what I was talking about, the imagination, we've seen a lot of plays between A and B gaps, both sides. Nothing really going to the outside, not a lot of jet sweeps or any kind of passing attack out of a QB that we've seen multiple times throw good balls, even in this game.
No, you're definitely right about that. Again, we'll see if the second half tends to be any different. Again, I understand the weather's probably a small part of it, but here we go again. Handoff draw up the middle, gets to about the 50-yard line, and that'll be just short of first down, I think, where that spot's about to come down.
Yeah, and this is one I would be surprised if the officials didn't come out and measure.
Stopped by Alonzo Jones-Holly for the Grizzlies.
And see, this is what you see a lot in the high school ranks. A lot of eyeballing going on by some older officials without glasses. Can you hear me? Can you read between the lines on that one? He looks over to the sideline. I think it's
that's
good.
It. Close enough. Close enough. And here we do a first down now for the Pioneers. East Hope takes that, and here's this long pass that we were talking about. Goes just a little too deep. You know, honestly though, again, you know, I'm the one over here wanting to pull the trigger on these long passes. That's the second pass from East Hope that we've seen, the second long pass that we've seen from East Hope that has been significantly thrown out of bounds.
Well, he needed to throw this one out of bounds. Nobody was open on this play, and it's a great job by the defender. Look at the defender run the receiver into the end line. Use that end line as another defender, and the ball was not anywhere going to be caught in play either. That was just tossed.
And he had a free safety come to help him out as well. You think you're right about that? Pioneered their second down attempt there. Another handoff. Got pulled backwards towards the end of that one.
Boy, 56 has been playing a big-time ball game. That defensive tackle for the Grizzlies he's been everywhere, and he's been, you know, taking off helmets and taking down a lot of runners. And he fights through blockers. You saw right there. You can see the blockers still holding on. Right. And he just 56 is just rolling through folks out there. Nice to see that.
He's clearly very strong. He's got that low center of gravity. It's definitely got a strong motor on him too, because he keeps going and going. Quick slant out by East Hope right there. Receiver catches it, cuts back up the middle, gets the first down, but lost his hand in the ball. And that popped out, and that might be an Ypsilanti ball.
That was great job of stripping it. And you said it before, Nick. It was the second time where the first Ypsilanti defender kind of holds up the Pioneer player. The second player comes in and makes a strip at the ball.
We've seen that. I mean, that's the second time just this half that we've seen. Nice job going out there with two hands, snagging that one.
It was a good
Gets
catch.
away from a few different players. Goes to move into
look
it
at
right
that. You can
there,
see his arm
right
rip
there.
through the ball there, too.
And then great job by that defensive player to see where that thing's going and just flat out dive on that ball. It's going to be holding on the Pioneers. That will be declined, clearly.
And all of that momentum right now is just oozing off of the sidelines of Coach Parker and the Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, they've got to be feeling great about themselves after coming up with two turnovers this quickly in the second half.
Susanna Maynard, real estate professional with 3 Max.
See Coach Parker right there.
Upper Lakes Pharmacy, yes.
Got to keep an even head though. Don't want to get too high or too low at any one particular time.
No, again, you want to keep it simple and keep, because you don't want to do anything to lose the momentum as well, too.
That's a great point. That's definitely a great point. Yeah, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. You don't want to pick your head up off the ball or do anything like that. See the ball into your hands on every single aspect of things. You just keep doing the correct things over and over again. And thus far, I mean, even though it is short, we're only with 7:48 left to go here in this third quarter, the Grizzlies are doing the correct things. There's Taylor, gets that once again. Tries to find his man cutting through the slant there, just a little beyond his grasp.
Yeah, the pattern there by number 9, it needs to be a little bit more flat. You see him going upfield right there. You see, if he goes down the, just right down on just a flat route towards the sideline as opposed to taking it upfield, he helps his quarterback out. And you saw where the ball was tossed by the quarterback. Flat. He was throwing it to the flat.
Yep, completely correct. Completely correct.
Steve Rodriguez, wrestling and felt coach, and Willard Frauman, football and basketball.
See where the Grizzlies go here on second down now.
Check with the athletics office.
Taylor in that backfield. We've got 2 halfbacks to either side of him tight. Wonder if those guys are going to end up being blockers or if one of them's about to get the football.
Well, they really have this defense spread out here.
Hand off Gerard to the man on his right.
Wilson, the ball carrier.
Quickly goes flying right into that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, really the teeth of the defense. Watch this. Coming off a block was one of the defensive end, and 52 was the defensive end. One of the captains tonight for the Pioneers is David Corey. He came in and made a good play there. Didn't finish off the tackle, Nick, but he did a great job slowing that runner down.
Yeah, and on a night like tonight, that's what you got to do. Again,
exactly.
Even if it's earlier it was wet, so you got to try to just hold on. Maybe the next guy comes. Now it's just cold and windy. Those fingers are tight. You don't have a lot of feeling in those things, so just hold on as much as you can, and you're going to get a teammate hopefully come in and help you out.
Man, you brought up a great point there, being cold out there. Maybe that's why we're seeing so many balls slip through some of these guys' hands as well too.
Not so much feeling. Here's the pass out into the flat for the Grizzly receiver.
Good job.
Gets away from that first tackler. Turns it around. He's holding on to it there. And then a big hit comes in late. Big hit comes in late to take down Trayvon McGee on that.
Is that Holmes again, number 5? Christopher Holmes. And it's a good job here by the receiver, though, reversing and getting back upfield.
I feel like he got spun around. He had that momentum there for him. Here's he goes upfield, then just lined up by the Pioneers linebacker.
That was coming downhill, and that's all leverage right there coming on that tackle.
Yeah, he sure. Yeah, he was lined up. He was waiting for him. He had those shoulders square exactly where he needed to be.
Yeah.
Launches forward, those strong legs.
And it looked like the runner was cutting at the same time, so it looked like a really huge hit.
A lot of extra force into that one. And now we've got 4th and 2 from the 33-yard line.
A lot of time in between this play. It's a surprise we didn't get a delay.
Here we'll see if they're going to punt away. There's a solid punt there by the Grizzlies. Bounces for them. There's a special teams play that went exactly as it was supposed to. Haven't seen a lot of that lately.
Oh, we started the game off of one.
Yeah,
but you're right. And that, on nights like this, we've seen special teams could be huge. Could change the game.
Absolutely. And again, special teams is such it's such an underrated part of the game, but it is 1/3 of your team. Yeah. Things need to be taken care of. I mean, that's where the worst possible things can happen in special teams, or the biggest plays, offensively too. So, yeah, you definitely want to have all your ducks in a row in your special teams.
It looks like we have another penalty going on here.
Shocker.
And unsportsmanlike against the Grizzlies, unsportsmanlike against the Pioneers. You know what that is. You know what that is. It was on both sides. Some guys are out there chirping.
One on each team.
So it's going to be...
It's upsetting. And so what happens is if those two guys get another penalty, they get to watch a lot of football.
Well, and again, keep your head straight. So that makes sense. There, play whistled before it starts here.
Yeah, I think they were trying to either get the clock adjusted, or maybe one of the players had something wrong with one of his gear.
Could be. Could be. Well, here we'll see Pioneers start their drive here. East Hope gets it, rolls out, under duress. Great toss into the wideout, but again, he was blanketed by two receivers or two defensive backs on that one.
Let's see McGee come back in here in the last minute and to see if we can get him right there coming in and causing a little bit of confusion for the receiver to see that ball come in clearly.
Yeah, great job of him getting low, diving forward, really stretching out and knocking that ball down. So 2nd and 10 now.
Little pistol.
There's the quick handoff to the halfback there, and brought down very quickly in the backfield there by the Grizzlies.
That's another good job by the defensive end there, fighting off a block. Watch this on the bottom of your screen. Push the blocker out of the way and go through and finish the tackle. And like you said, Nick, wrap up and hold on.
Yes, absolutely. And again, even if he didn't bring that man down by himself, there's a couple of other Grizzlies waiting for him. But that was just a great job of actually holding down and then using his upper body strength to come down and bring that runner down.
So a huge 3rd down play here, right?
Right, you are. 3rd and 13 from their own 30, the Pioneers. They got to get something going. East Hope sees his man cut. I think that was just, I'm not really sure where that one was.
It looks like East Hope saw that guy was covered and just threw it away.
Could be.
Because it just did not seem like, watch this.
I thought there was going to be another player out there. I just didn't see.
And it does rise on him. That ball rises on him.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
He never did give that ball down enough for the receiver to have an opportunity on that ball.
And now facing 4th and 13. They're going to try to punt the ball away to the Grizzlies.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oh, there was blocked.
It's blocked, it's blocked, it's blocked.
Picked up by the man that got his hands down on it. He rolls out. He was on the ground when he had the ball. I don't know if he's going to they're going to call that a touchdown. I think it was going to be short, just short of it.
So we get that as Jesse O'Neal on the block as well as the recovery. And watch this, off the bad snap, Nick.
Still tried to take his time with it, but O'Neal gets in there, 2 hands.
It's a good job of tracking it here, too.
Yeah, he initially looked back, as you saw, but it didn't take him just out of his peripherals to see that that one was right in front of him, and he got it and kept moving forward. Good for him. If you're going to get your hands on that and get smashed in the face with the football in this cold weather, you deserve to be able to go and pick that guy up.
Well,
too.
nothing was going to go bad there. He
Right.
wasn't going to lose possession of the ball. It wasn't going to go back to the Pioneers. It was going to be the Grizzlies' ball, and it was a good job of him trying to roll up into the
Right.
end zone.
Yeah, he tried.
I mean,
he
was
tried.
down, but it was a good effort.
Yes.
You were just saying moments ago how big special teams are, Nick. Right on the money there, buddy.
Another monster play, and the Grizzlies are on the 2-yard line now. Only 2 yards to go. They've got to get their plays called straight, though. They're with Taylor, making sure they know what's going on. Handoff there to number 9. Right into the line, knocked down. And
Got a late
the
penalty.
flag.
Got a late penalty on the top side. Because let's see.
Defense wells up and makes the stop.
This would be horrible against the Grizzlies with that type of field position to start off with. We talked about these self-inflicted wounds.
And there it is, false
again.
start.
There it is again.
Yeah.
Flag on Ypsilanti.
So I think that's a legal procedure. I wish we can count how many players are out there because they didn't say any illegal participation. So, and the coaching staffs are telling us that was illegal formation, not enough players in the backfield.
But again, like you said, Kevin, just a frustrating development for the Grizzlies
Yeah.
right there. Again, it's first down, 2-yard line, goal to go, and that's how they start this drive off. It's frustrating.
And they weren't even really together coming out of the field. You saw a lot of, the coaches or the quarterback looking back and over to the sideline looking for a call.
And you still see a lot of that. There just seems to be a lot of confusion.
Mass
Because
confusion.
No one on the offensive line seems to be
Well, you see the ref
ready
is
to
over
go.
the ball, too. It looks like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
but there's no one is talking to a sideline, so I'm not sure why the officials are staying over the ball unless they're trying to fix the clock.
And now play is whistled into motion. Now the Grizzlies look like they're ready to go. Second down now from the 7-yard line. Taylor gets that and hands that off to his man. Tries to find the edge and get around. Pioneer.
Oh, ouch.
That first Pioneer player just slid right off of him basically. But once again, teammates there to help pick him up and then wrangle him down.
Well, a couple of those hits are going to leave a mark. I mean, you saw the ball carrier just hung out to dry, really. You don't want to turn and try to get back up the other side either here.
Oh, yeah, he
keep
caught him
straight
right there.
ahead. It was a helmet to helmet, but I mean, you couldn't get out of the way of that.
No, I mean, when the player turns right into you, there's not a whole lot you're going to do. You're chasing, then all of a sudden he's coming at you.
And again, the Grizzlies, you started out on the 3-yard line. You're going the wrong way right now.
Right now, down from the 14-yard line now.
And it's a tough defense.
Yep.
Okay, so another penalty.
Yeah.
Delay a game on
It's going to be a delay of game on
Ouch.
the Grizzlies. So again, they went from starting this drive on the 2-yard line, goal to go. We're about to see them on the 19-yard line. It is only still second down. They've got that going for them at least.
Well, for the Pioneer coaches, they couldn't be more thrilled than what's going on right now. And their players are responding to some horrible field position and really doing a good job of keeping the pressure on this Grizzlies offense.
And again, easy for the Pioneer players right now to be hanging their heads after some really unfortunate events that they've had. But again, their defense is coming up strong. Their defense is going to lead the way for them here. Taylor gets that, sees his man in the end zone, throws it up there, runs over the Pioneer player, picked off by the Pioneer player. That's number 4, gets it, pulls out of the end zone.
Morgan Tinsley right on the spot. And you can see when we'll take a look at this replay, quarterback may have held on to that ball a little bit too long. And, you know, and if he lets it go right here, he's looking right at his receiver. You can see him. And he took one extra step and planted that back foot, and he still threw it low. And he still threw it short. That ball has to be thrown over the top with more air up under it.
And great job by Tinsley we saw there. Not only did he kind of hit it both hands and knock it down, but he kept with it. He tracked it, saw it back into his hands, knew where he was, and then gets out. Yeah, even...
You see how flat that ball is? That ball's got to be up and over so the receiver can run up underneath it.
Even still, that's an ill-advised pass. There's two guys in his general
I wouldn't have thrown
vicinity.
it either.
No.
Yeah.
No. But like you said, he was tracked on him the entire way. Like he was looking at him every step of that play. And here we see the Pioneers with their chance, their opportunity to answer. Handoff brought down behind the line of scrimmage, however.
What a stop there for the Pioneers defense. I mean, after a kick that, rolls right down after a block kick.
Monster.
I mean, that's so demoralizing for a team to go to the sideline. Your defense is going out there, and you said it, Nick. The defense picked them up.
Defense picked them up, so now those defensive players, if they're not going both ways right now, they need to be on the sideline. They need to be the extra cheerleaders. They need to get these guys hyped up. They need to tell them, we brought you here. Now it's your turn to go out there and get us some points.
And I want to see something out of 18. We haven't seen anything special out of East Hope all night long.
No, and that's, again, that's strange because that doesn't feel like what we've seen from this young man, the few games that we've seen him. You got a man in motion there, going wide, and he continues to go wide. Yeah, I don't think that they knew who was doing what. That wide out was in motion, and then it seemed almost like he was about to come back, but East Hope was ready to take the snap. There was a lot of confusion going on there in the Pioneer backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, I believe it's Buchanan for the Pioneers. He's got to be losing his mind right now because you've seen a quarterback that started every game this season and gotten better, and he's made several, I just want to say, uncharacteristic plays tonight where East Hope opening up maybe on the wrong side on a handoff down on the goal line, really costing yourself an early touchdown there. And now on a play like that, everybody's just a little bit off. And when a team doesn't have anything to play for next week, it's hard to keep these young guys' attention. I'm sure it was a tough week of practice.
No, you're right about that. And again, I think you're right about the focus. Seems to be there. I wonder if they've all got a big math test on Monday or something everybody's thinking about because it just doesn't
it's
seem
been cold all weekend.
Coordination, right?
That first week of practice, you love it.
Yeah.
The 12th week of practice,
it's starting to bring it down.
I'm thinking about what time. It gets dark earlier. It's colder. It's just not as fun. You haven't won in 3 weeks.
No, you're right about every single thing about that. You got 2nd and 11 here for the Pioneers. East Hope looking downfield. Throws just over the hands of his man. Again, not a bad throw, just a little too high. I mean, that still might have actually been catchable.
Yeah, both teams, though, I want to give some kudos to the defenses really out here. There's some good coverage going on because there is not anybody running free.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen anybody just broke loose or you're just wide open away from anybody. Again, those defensive backs, those linebackers, they're doing a great job of staying on their players and not giving up an inch of open space. Now we got 3rd and 11, 3:07 left to go here in this third quarter.
And again, the execution though really hasn't been on the Pioneers' offensive side all night long. They have not really developed any kind of rhythm.
Yeah, no, that's a great call too. And East Hope gets that, slides away from his man, slides away from another guy, but he's only going to be able to do that so much before those defensive linemen are going to converge on him and bring him down. 56, we've talked about him an awful lot.
Well, I mean, that guy right there, he's the rhythm breaker. I mean, he's been destroying the offensive line for the Pioneers. And he's learned not to hold on to those face masks. You saw that right there. His hand touched a little bit of Connor Izzo's face mask, and he immediately takes it off. That's a big guy.
He's all smiles down there. Just a bowling ball of an individual.
Man.
Like I said, he's got that low center of gravity, strong. Like him a lot. Here we got 4th and 20 now coming up. Punt getting ready for the Pioneers.
Oh, no, almost.
Low one.
Oh, wow. That touched somebody. That
might have touched
somebody.
a few people. There you go. And I think you've been hearing it from the sideline for him to dive on it.
They're gonna have to move that ball up about 10 more yards. See where they're talking at, right in front of that tent. That's where the ball initially touched someone. We'll see it again right here. Kind of creeps up on a Pioneer player right there.
Yeah, got him
right there.
Got him the backside.
Maybe 2 or 3 times it touched him. And it should be right about the, is that the 20-yard line?
20-yard line. Yeah, they're not going to quite give it to him there. They don't have the benefit of the excellent replay that we've got up here.
And they're old.
Just no quarter for the Zebras from this guy.
They're trying to get too much face time here.
They surely are.
I mean, come on. They've been dropping flags left, right, and loose. Definitely dropping the flags like it's the first game, last game of the year, right?
Well, you don't want to take them home with you.
That's right.
Those things are heavy. You got 2:15 to go now. First down for the Grizzlies. Taylor gets that, hands that off to his man in motion.
I like this
Jet
play.
sweep gets around the initial line of scrimmage, but again wrapped up by a few Pioneers. Not before he gets that first down, though.
Awesome call there. If you really saw the development of that play, it kind of looks like it's a counter of the Jet, because the quarterback is going upfield towards the top of our screen, and watch the running back come back towards him.
That's Berryhill once again. We've seen him.
Nice.
Nice job there waiting for his blocks.
And you've mentioned several times tonight how the Grizzly receivers have blocked well downfield.
Yeah, they've done an excellent job with that. Everybody's doing their jobs out here tonight with those guys.
I'd like it if the officials were not doing their job as well. Could they slow down a little less on their job?
There we got 1st and 10 now, 2:02 left to go. Ypsi scrimmaging from their own 17-yard line. Hand off to the man outside, trying to get around those defensive linemen. Not so much, though.
We haven't said Lee's number too much for the Pioneers, and that was a good job by Lee right here on the defense. Watch him come up number 20 and wrap on the outside. Look at him fight through that block and really attack the runner.
Yeah, great job by him. You know, you're spot on. Again, he was getting blocked that whole way, but he just slid off to the little bit and then tracked his man, brought him down.
Any points right here will be huge.
Still a little bit of a ways away. Field goal might be a bit iffy with the way the wind's
even
blowing
just a
out
snap.
There. Yeah, no,
the
true.
snap right now is the biggest part of that.
2nd and 8 from the 16. Taylor comes back, slips away from his man, just gets away from that. Still looking around, makes another man miss before eventually taking himself out of bounds.
And you can see the quarterback has some smooth moves on that play here. A couple guys, he's dead for rights right here. He's just too much, those long strides to get him out of trouble.
Look at the way he's holding that ball, though, Kev.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to hold the pill.
Not with the track record of what we've seen this first 3 quarters.
And you saw a mouth guard pop out. You didn't want to see anything else drop off of there.
Next thing is the towel, then after that, who knows what's going out. You're right.
Hey, one good thing, his arms are so long that the ball was well away from his body, almost stretched out to the sideline.
Now we've got 3rd and 9. Let's see if the Grizzlies can dial up here on this one. Taylor out there, in from the shotgun. He's got the man behind him, hands it to him. Couldn't quite get it. Runs right into that Pioneer player before he knocked down.
Guess who that is? Look at
that Lee again. Lee lost his head too.
So again, let's call this out, right? He goes to this. Oh well, there's as much time on the clock. I thought we're down to just a couple moments left in the 3rd period here. But watch Lee come up and again fight through a blocker. And he's just holding on for dear life, right?
Well, that blocker's tugging on him too, but he's, yeah, you said it. I mean, he just keeps chugging those legs, just churning forward, doing a lot of work with his legs, more than his arms even, to stay in front of him.
And he would not stop.
Yeah, great job there by Lee. And we got 4th and 11.
Is it 4th?
4th down, excuse me, 4th and 4 from the 11. I apologize. Clock ticking down to 26 seconds now.
This is a big play here. We're going on 4th down. Come on now.
Taylor gets that, steps back, takes a look around.
He's got a man. He's got a man.
Starts thinking about going, throws it low to the man just beyond the end zone line.
You know, all he had to do was lob that ball in the air, and he's got 6 points. Yeah, the quarterback kind of rushed that throw and threw it over his body.
Well, I know he's a little bit under duress, but it still seemed like he could have had enough time to stop and make that throw.
Yeah, this is where you want to put a little bit of touch. Right here, you got the defender coming up to you. You see how he did. Again, he didn't go over the top with the ball. He kind of didn't have it in a throwing position.
Well, and again, the way he kind of like did that little skip jump before he let go of it too. He's not going to be able to put a lot of mustard on that. Definitely not going to be able to guide that ball where you want it to be.
And he threw it back across his body. Again, if you just lob that ball back towards the back of the end zone, the receiver's back there by himself. Easy play.
And again, Pioneer defense, bend, don't break.
Oh, they're
and
surviving.
They give their offense another opportunity here. Complete pass there to the wide out at the top of your screen.
That was the first time East Hope looked like the East Hope we've seen all year long. He kind of stood up there and threw the ball with conviction.
Calm and collected. And that will do it for the third quarter here. CTN's game of the week. Here we'll see the replay of him making that catch. Brings it down. That's a few positive yards, but that will do it for the third quarter. Stick around. Fourth quarter action. 8-5. Not exactly the barn burn, but who knows where this one's going. Stick around on CTN's game of the week. And welcome back, everybody, to CTN Ann Arbor's Game of the Week. We've got the Pioneers getting ready to continue their drive, I should say. Here, down 5-8 to the visiting Ypsilanti Grizzlies. Connor Easthope completed that last pass, and he's trying to build on that a little bit. Going to see if this man will be airing things out a bit more. And there it is, pass to the man in the slant, slips that first tackler, turns it upfield. Gets nearly to the 40-yard line, sorry, to the 35-yard line.
That's Michael McMullen on the reception there, but again, second play in a row where we've seen East Hope really put some pepper on the ball, stand tall in the pocket, and deliver a strike.
He knows exactly who he needs to throw to. That player is ready for it, receives it, slips the would-be tackler, turns upfield, protects the ball, gets dragged down. Here's the East Hope talking to his lineman right there. Got that halfback behind him for that option right there. Hands it off, cuts it up middle one more time. And now we're at the point where it seems like the pass is opening things up for the run.
Wow, we've been doing this well too many times together, Nick, because I'm thinking the same thing, sir. I was like, wow, we saw them come out and start with the run, and the linebackers and everybody is just all into the box. Well, the last two pass plays, and you know that the Grizzlies have seen the East Hope show, so they know this kid can toss the rock. And the defense loosens up. You have all kinds of running lanes. Good job there on that analysis.
Yep, you've got things still spread out. You still got that halfback behind him there. You'll see it again. Might be going back to the well one too many times, though.
Oh, if they don't call that face mask, I mean, I can see that from well up here. And did you see any tissue go down on the field?
No flags.
No flags?
No flags on that one.
Watch this.
You see him gets into it, tries to make one little move, and then
right here, right here. That's the two-hander rander. The two-hander.
Yeah.
I mean, he was holding on like he was about to do a chin-up on it.
Well, and I wonder if like there wasn't so much helmet spin because there were two hands.
Yeah, but
that
there's
maybe he didn't
6
see it so
officials
much.
out here. And they've been, you know, pretty liberal with throwing flags.
Have they? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, a little bit.
And here we go, 3rd and 3 now. East Hope takes it just outside of the pocket, launches one way high in the air, tons of air into that, catches that ball amongst 2 men, cuts it back up to the middle before he is eventually wrapped up and brought down at about the 15-yard line. Man, that ball had all sorts of air under it.
500, man.
Oh,
and that's all it was. And the 2 defenders never thought about maybe looking back for the ball. Look at this.
There might be a flag on the play.
No, that ball goes up and just goes up forever. You're right, this is like 3rd period gym class right there. Let's just chuck it up there and see what happens. Great job bringing that one down.
So another flag on the play. And you see official with his hat off of his head, Nick.
He ran out of laundry.
Was he out of bounds? Was he out of bounds and be the first person to touch the ball when he comes back in? See the officials on the top side here. Let's see, is he out of bounds here? Because the official comes back in, that linesman doesn't have his helmet, his hat on, and that usually means, and there he goes right there. Good job, camera folks. But they're not. They must have said he wasn't the first person to touch the ball.
That's all I can think of. Yeah,
that could be the
I'm just trying to think
only
you're right.
Man.
Because again, yeah, here we are. So you're right. The official must have seen someone else, or did they say the defender touched that ball before?
That's the only thing that could have happened for them to pick up the flag, is that the defender may have tapped it before he caught the ball.
Timeout Grizzlies.
And now we got another Ypsilanti timeout. I believe that's their
Did
second
they
of the half.
increase the amount of timeouts that these teams get? Because it seems like we opened the second half with immediate timeout from both sides.
Yeah, let's see this one more time. There's East Hope releasing. Ball goes high out of frame. And as it's coming in.
Yeah, he's 2 feet out of bounds.
Yeah. And then when it's going to come back, though.
Right there.
Oh, there you go.
There.
There you go.
Right
Both
there.
men
That's
seem
what
to
they're
touch
going
it
to
at the
call.
exact same time.
They're going to call it simultaneously hitting the ball.
Yes. Here we'll see it come back in. Yeah, I mean that's going to be too close to call right there. I mean,
Yeah,
they both have their hands out at the
and
same
he
time.
juggles it too. If he catches it clean, maybe they say something.
Yeah.
But since he juggles it and a defender has his hand in there, who's to say that who touched it first?
There it is.
Tie goes to the offense?
I think sure.
Yeah, why not? That's what we used to say in the Sandlots.
There it is. Great job. Great job by our replays on that one, everybody involved with that one, so we could take a look at that and see exactly what happened there. Because, again, we were pretty convinced that he was out of bounds, which he clearly was.
Yeah, he was clearly out of bounds there, and it was a good decision by the referees to come together and make a concession of what they should call before we go on.
You see East Hope with a little just toss-up there, but a flag on that one.
How late was that flag?
It was
that
very
flag,
late.
I mean, that was into the next play. That's going to be a hold?
It's hard to say where it might be.
Is it a hold?
What it might be. I don't think it's going to be a hold. It's way too late for a hold. That's got to be defensive pass interference is what they're going to call. But I don't see any of that. I mean, he was out of bounds. He kind of grabbed him and pulled him down, maybe?
No, we can't call that for that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where it was. That's exactly where it was.
He called unnecessary roughness?
I mean, I guess we'll see, but that is unfortunate because it really just seemed like his momentum was bringing him down in that way.
And it wasn't an egregious taking him down hard or anything. We did earlier, though, in the second half, we had some unsportsmanlike calls, right?
Right.
So there may be some chirping down there going on the field that us up in here in the press box aren't aware of. And the officials may be trying to, get control of the game.
That's possible, but again, you just definitely did see that is a personal foul on the defense.
That's huge.
Oh, it's
huge.
monster for Pioneers. They're going to start this ball from the 9-yard line now. 1st and goal from the 9. 9:50 left to go here in this game. It's a giant opportunity for the Pioneers. Man in motion, hands off to him, cuts it up the middle. Eats up about 3-4 yards.
Yeah, and for the players, they have to regroup right now after 2 big calls, right? One, it was Obviously, the player was out of bounds, comes back in. We don't know who touches it first, but it goes against Ypsi. The second call there, it goes against Ypsi. They're not feeling good. You got to regroup. And if Coach Parker had some extra timeouts, maybe there's a time to call one, but unfortunately, he had to call one on the first play of the second half.
Here we see the Pioneers scrimmaging. Shotgun from East Hope. East Hope hands it off. Smashes into a line full of dudes. Nothing doing there.
Man, that has to be at least the 20th time we've seen that play. And I'm not kidding. That play must have been called that many times. And the coaches must believe in something.
You know, maybe they believe in what the zone blocking scheme, where they really are hoping that some holes are going to open up. If they keep at it, this is the fourth quarter, maybe they just feel like their offensive linemen are better conditioned than those kids across the way, maybe.
Yeah, and now with the precipitation coming in so hard, you're probably not going to see as many kind of, multiple handling of the ball.
Right.
They're still out of a shotgun, though. That's amazing to me.
Well, I feel like East Hope is more comfortable out of the shotgun. I think we see him in it more. I think that might be more of his natural state of things. He gets it, goes off the side, brought down.
Man, it looks like they have that. The defenders have that snap count timed every. Oh, that was just nobody blocked. It seemed like the tackle, they went to double team on the end there and did not read the linebacker coming across his face.
And that linebacker was wide open to just like slip on through there. And here we go with fourth down.
So this is twofold as you're going on offense. The Grizzlies have not, I was wondering how long it's going to take me to do that. The Grizzlies have not had a great offensive night, so why not go for it if you're the Pioneers?
East Hope gets it, rolls out to the right, looking for his man, but nothing happening. Maybe he's just designed to come in. He dives into it. Are they going to give it to him?
Sure. Oh, wow.
Calling that a touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown Pioneers.
It looked like he was down at the one there.
I'm curious if that play was designed for East Hope to do that, because as he rolled out, he didn't seem to have much happening. He didn't seem to have a real sense of urgency. Well, he just kind of saw it and then cut forward.
Well, that's something new we've seen out of Connor. We haven't seen him really get outside the pocket and use his legs, but right here, and you want to see the officials right there on the goal line, right here.
Here you see him start to kind of fall down, but I believe that his shoulder and ball definitely broke that plane before anything else went down.
He doesn't really have a ball. The ball didn't even really go. Watch him coming down.
We'll say across the plane, probably right about there. You do have the referee right in front of him.
Yeah, but again, the ball didn't cross the line. The body crossed the line. The ball, you could see it right there. It looked like the ball was sitting right on the goal line.
From that angle,
and if anything, you would think that the ball would get spotted right there.
And here we'll see Pioneers going for 2 on this one. Timeout because they're just a little bit of confusion there by the Pioneers.
Why would they call a timeout on the extra point there going down? Wouldn't you want to save?
The way this one's going, you got to make sure that you get these points on the board.
Yeah, but
they need these points in order to keep the field goal out of play. Not that I can really see Ypsi going for a field goal at any point moving forward, but they need to get these extra points, and they need to ensure that they get them. So I guess that's where you call it. Again, we've got 8 minutes left.
And I think we've mentioned a couple times, maybe the focus hasn't been there. And sometimes maybe that permeates up to the coaches as well, too. Maybe we're not sure on what play we want to go. Do we want to go for 2 on this one? Do we want to just go and kick it? And that extra thought process leads to us having to burn a timeout.
Again,
either way.
You might be right. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Be curious to see what Pioneers dial up on this one. Leading 11-8, needing this 2-point conversion. So East Hope gets it. Fakes the handoff. Well, did hand off. Gets it back to him. Trying to get away, but I don't think he's not going to slide away from half the Grizzlies coming after him that way.
It's getting challenging out there,
Yeah.
not just for the runners or the officials, our camera people.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you got to find the runner. I mean, that is amazing. If you take a look to do that much ball handling of a one, and then it was a double reverse, but it was a double reverse toss. That ball hits the ground, you can't get a point. You can't get a point at this level. So the Grizzlies can't scoop that up and go down for a 1 point. But man, that is a lot of ball handling to call on. I think he could have got an easier play.
Well, I mean, again, we've talked about how just enamored they are with that just draw play up the middle. You almost could have expected something like that there. And again, especially like you can hopefully see a little bit of what's going on there. This mist and this breeze has come back in. It's wet out there again.
Oh, definitely. And that's why maybe you don't go with so many people touching the ball. You give it to somebody and maybe go a little bit more power, like you were saying, up the middle, or even having Esope just stand up and just throw a quick slant.
Or just have him QB sneak it.
Something.
Just hey kid, just
I just
go.
didn't like that call. I
Sure.
really just didn't like that call.
It was too much. A little too cute for you down there. Yeah. No, I don't hate that. Nonetheless, the Pioneers have the 3-point lead now with 8 minutes, 11 seconds to go. Got the Pioneer holding. You got those Grizzlies up front expecting some shenanigans maybe. And there, that one squirts through some of the Grizzlies. Then went out of bounds.
Wow. I mean, kudos to the people that are still in the stands, man. I mean, the weather is, it's ucky.
Yeah, you're a true diehard if
Wow.
you're still here at Holloway Field. If you're still on the sacred
Those
bleachers
are all
over there.
senior parents out there.
Oh, maybe. I don't know, man. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
probably not. I know there's an Esope up in there in those stands.
Probably so. But yeah, the student section is pretty much cleared out at this point. There's somewhere warmer, better to be than out there freezing and getting drizzled on all night long.
Well, there was a, in the press box at halftime, we were all drawing straws to find out how many fans would stay after the band left. And whoever had that one straw won, because not too many band folks still over there.
No. You hear the marching band marching off in the background now.
I thought they might have been in a tunnel over there trying to stay dry.
And here we go with the Grizzlies starting this drive with 8:08 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Here's the linebacker shooting the gap there. Taylor just couldn't quite ever get a hold of that one. That one got away from him and still was scooting around his hands.
It's been a problem all night for the Grizzlies, that center quarterback exchange, and this is not going to make it any easier.
No, right you are. Here you go.
And again, who you going to fault on that one?
It wasn't a bad snap.
Who you
That
going
was
to fault
right
on
at
that
him.
one? The QB's going to have to go get some stickum.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he wasn't quite ready for it at quite that time because it seemed like it was coming right at his face. It might have been a last second. Let me get my hands up there. I'm unsure what's going on.
I mean, well, two things. One, I remember you stating last week some of these mist get in your eyes, and it's tough to see sometimes. But you're an athlete, man. That ball hit your hands. You got to squeeze it.
You're right. There, you got that one direct. Actually, that wasn't it. That was Naylor. Naylor cuts through. Oh, he gets brought down from behind.
It's definitely got to be a penalty, right? They're not gonna throw. I mean, that was a clothesline. The quarterback, the defender jumps through the neck of the running. Look at this play here. This is egregious.
Just 0 to 50 right through there. Makes that cut up field. There you go, 10. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it clean? It didn't look like it had any face masks, if you ask me.
No.
But, I mean, the way he came down, the player came down, it just looked like we've seen so many calls go against the Grizzlies like that earlier.
Nonetheless, Naylor does pick up that first down for Ypsilanti. Clock got counting down now. Grabs it one more time, cuts through, picks up another first down.
Some excellent blocking going on the right side of this Grizzlies squad right now. And Pioneer, they keep sending a linebacker blitz. And it's taking that second, any kind of scraping down the line of scrimmage out of the mix. Watch that right there. You see the blitzer come in, and nobody's coming in that hole, scraping down where you saw a nice hole develop where usually a scraping linebacker would be able to attack the ball carrier.
Yeah, that's consecutive plays where Naylor's got that, and you know he's running the ball.
Oh yeah, he's tucking it and going.
Yep. Yeah,
there's shoelaces out there.
There's
maybe not that fast.
He's quick though. He gets, I mean, his first step, and he's almost at 100% speed. It feels like. You see him under center one more time. Gets that, hands that one off though. Maybe give his legs a break. And he might just barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe pick up one on that.
A little bit too much looking for the offensive lineman there. There are a lot of guys on that offensive line looking around for a blocker, and really a little ping pong going on action for the running back there, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Curious if we're just going to continue to see Naylor. Oh, there comes Chris Taylor back out there.
And then you got...
It's interesting they're going to, swap back and forth with these quarterbacks, try to give some different looks to the Pioneers defense.
Yeah, and I wonder if the quarterback maybe took a hit there for why you're switching up.
Oh, could be. Could very well be. Taylor gets that. He sends it up, tries to get up the field. Doesn't quite have that quick
burst.
step.
He doesn't have that burst.
That's the word. That's exactly the word.
You can tell the difference. He's so tall, his strides are long. And I'm not saying he's slow, but he's slower.
And again, because of the size, he definitely looks slower, if nothing else, whether he is or not. But again, yeah, if that's Naylor, you feel like he gets a little bit lower, he gets that burst, and he might be able to pull up a few more yards, even pick up another first down again.
Well, Naylor, we've been hearing the nickname all night long. Smooth like
butter.
Nice. And he's been the one that actually has made a lot of more of the Pioneer defenders miss as well, too. He's running upfield so decisive.
Yeah, again, that's another thing. It seems like he gets it and he knows where he wants to go. He doesn't dipsy-do around a lot. He's not throwing a lot of fakes or jukes. No dancing, exactly. He just gets it and goes. If somebody brings him down, they bring him down.
Yeah. You can't have another timeout.
There it is.
I mean, wow. How many timeouts do these teams have?
A lot. He's got all the timeouts. Not anymore, though. 4:32 left to go. That will be their last timeout.
We want to mention the defensive line for Pioneer who...
And this, right now, you see Coach Parker. This is a good breather timeout.
Sure.
You saw a couple plays there where the offensive line was, they had helmet on helmet, and then that last play there, you had a couple people standing up looking around. This is a huge possession for the Grizzlies, not just for this game, man. It's for the season.
No, right you are. And again, with 4 minutes left, I mean, it's not crazy to think this might be their last chance to touch the ball offensively.
Yeah. Well, you saw what Pioneer wants to do when they get the ball. They're not in a throwing mode now. They're trying to eat up clock, run some, real just dive plays right at you.
Well, especially if they get the ball back with the lead. There's no way they're throwing the ball.
You're a couple timeouts away, a couple first downs away from calling it a night.
Exactly correct.
That's football weather. Look at that screen,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's just
Doesn't that just scream football to
goodness.
you right there?
Just lens flares all over the place from all the water.
Yeah, to be one of those kids down there playing right now. That's a ball.
I'll take it up here, thanks.
Not me.
There you go, direct snap.
Emerson Wilson carries. Gets close.
It's number 3, Emerson Wilson on that carry. Picked up about 4 or 5.
It's really close here on the first down. We're going to see here.
Diego Lee leads the tackling.
Well, Emerson job. Ran right through the tackle.
Yes.
It's interesting now how the officials decide when a first down's a first down and not. And let's see if they'll get a measurement out of this. We've been, asking why aren't they bringing the chains out on these close things? And all the coach has to ask for is a measurement to know how much he needs to go. Nope. They're not giving him one.
Here we are, 4th and inches here for possibly the game. Wilson gets it one more time, plows into that line. It should be enough to get that. But again, to snap back a couple of yards and then just hope that young man has the forward momentum, the forward progress. That's dicey to me. I don't know. I mean, I just like the old, guy under center, snap it, and I can just lean forward, lean that on that big body in front of me and fall forward a foot and a half.
He's your best player, though, right now, and your best athlete. You get him the ball with some momentum going up the field. I understand what you're saying, I still want to go back to the officials.
Yeah.
Why aren't you getting a measurement to know how far those guys need to go? And that right there is something that the sideline should be saying.
You see Wilson, or no, that's Naylor taking the snap right there. Takes a quick look up the middle, then cuts to the right, gets outside.
And you want to keep them in bounds. You don't want to go out of bounds if
Right.
you're trying to turn this clock down. If you're the Grizzlies, you want to be falling in bounds.
The clock is definitely the enemy of the Grizzlies right now.
Well, because you know what Esau's going to be about if they get the ball back. He's a passer. So he's a guy that when you're passing the ball, you don't really need to have timeouts because if it's a first down, clock stops. Ball hits the ground, clock stops.
2nd and 4.
You see that lead tackler just couldn't quite catch up with Naylor.
And the Grizzlies have been going very heavy to the right. If the Pioneer coaching staff can't figure this one out, every play you've seen heavy run right, heavy run right, heavy run right.
He's got a couple of men lined up to his left on this one, whether it's the halfback or that player in the slant. You see Wilson fake the handoff, then cuts left.
Yeah, there he goes. I mean, that was smart attempt there. But you see Lee on that side, and you see, was that David Corey as well coming up and really not giving the quarterback any room to get going.
And I'm not sure if the play was designed to go left or he just kind of saw a weak side was open a little bit and said, let's try this. But nonetheless, Pioneer defense wrapped him up. And now we've got 2:24 left to go. 3rd and 5 for the Grizzlies.
And you got 2 downs here. So, I mean, you really, if you're the Grizzlies, make sure you get the snap.
Received cleanly, cuts to the outside,
Smart.
finds the man. There's near the end line.
Number 4 carries.
And it'll be first down
That's
for
first
the
and goal
Grizzlies.
now.
First down.
So that's very smart if you're the Grizzlies, keeping it in between the tackles. 2 hands on the ball. Clock is on your side right now. You're definitely in chipping range if you got any kind of a kicker.
Worst case scenario, right? I don't think they're thinking field goal at this point, though.
No. But I'm just saying everything is stacked up on your side right now. Pioneers, though, early in the first half, they did have a goal line stance, Nick.
True enough. Here they start from the 5-yard line. First and goal. And there's a little slip, fumble. And that might be the Pioneers falling on that, and it surely is. There's Yuhan Lee one more time. There was a trouble between the snap and the handoff. Put it right on the turf, and Lee was Johnny on the spot. Fell right on it very smartly.
Well, I want to see a replay on that because, again, it looks like the ball was put right in the running back's belly. And for the life of me, it didn't look like he thought he was getting the ball. You can see his hands. He just started running towards the line of scrimmage.
Never
he didn't clamp
up.
down on that pill. Quarterback put the ball right in his breadbasket.
Yeah, that's a dagger there for
Look at that. I mean, that was base. He shoved it in there, too. That quarterback did a great job.
Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to do. Great job by 2 Pioneers there, seeing what was going on. They knew they were behind the play to make a tackle, but they could definitely see that ball squirt out, and they were both diving on that one.
And so that's unfortunate there for Jaden Bevier.
Yeah, that's a tough
man.
That's a tough pill to swallow in this situation.
Yeah. And because he had such a good game early on the defensive side, you know, had a couple good runs, but to have the ball so close to the goal line for your squad and let it squirt out.
And here you go, the semi-victory formation, but that defensive player wants to push through. And then, as usual, the guy that holds his hands up.
Guilty.
Guilty. Every time. Every single time.
That will be a 15-yard penalty.
And that will be a 15-yard penalty there.
Man, when the Grizzlies watch the film on this one, they're really going to be it's going to be a tough one to watch.
They'll be watching it between their fingers, you know, like just the hands over their eyes and can't see it. And then I believe we've got an Ypsilanti player who may be getting to the bus a little quicker than the rest of the squad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
And again, I mean, that's frustration from the whole situation, you know, the game, the way this thing turned out.
Game your season.
Yeah.
Your season right there. It wasn't a given. If the Grizzlies get a win tonight, that they go on to the postseason, but you put yourself in a position to. And you definitely want to beat a team that's in your division, right? So, I mean, you're on the home field. And a lot of what's happened here tonight was, you know,
yeah, you see Nine
a
talking.
little frustration like that. And it looks like he was talking towards the official.
And that's the problem. That's exactly what I was going to say. It doesn't, even his head right there was pointed right towards him. He wasn't John at the other Pioneers, which is one thing, but you're not going to get away with that yelling at the official.
No.
Never.
You can't show those guys up.
And now we've got 1st and 10, 1:30 as the clock continues to trot down.
Well, now we get a chance of and now we get a chance to, you know, kind of look at the formation play that I kind of love, right?
Yeah.
the victory formation. And that's...
And we're at 1:06 as the clock continues to count down. You can see East Hope standing there, keeping a close eye on where the clock is and what they need to do. And while we're waiting for the inevitable next play where they stand around, we need to thank everybody that makes this broadcast possible. Everybody does such an amazing job on CTN's Game of the Week. First and foremost, our camera operators out there who are just doing a yeoman's job. We got Natalia Tejeda, Chloe Hill, Jason Broniak, Robert Hornbacher, all out there just getting the best possible shots. And you're looking, it is not amazing to be standing around out there. Audio and replay by Gage Shaughnessy. And of course, our director, Rob Cross. And with that, the Pioneers will trot off the field. Still 21 seconds to go.
Oh, they're having a little bit of fun, right?
I mean, they've caught some amazing breaks here tonight, Kevin. Again, to be able to walk off this field 11-8 victors. You know, they feel very... Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, this game could have went one way or another. It was close both ways.
Yeah.
It was a battle. It was hard fought. You know, again, some misplays on both squads.
Yeah.
So you just never know how it could have ended up. So they're probably feeling pretty fortunate about this victory.
Oh, and for the Pioneers to build upon for next year, East Hope, some of these games aren't going to be clean. Some of these games you're going to have to claw to a W, and that's what you learn. And this is something that these guys, when they're watching the film for next season, they're going to get an opportunity to build on this W for next year.
No, overcoming adversity is definitely something they're learning here tonight, whether it's overcoming the adversity of mistakes, things that weren't necessarily their fault, playing through weather like this, all of those things, and seeing games through to the very end. It's just such an important lesson for those young men that are out there ringing the bell.
Are they really out there? I mean, I can hear the bell, Nick. I don't know if we can see them. But yeah, kudos to Coach Bellers and his staff for wrapping up the season. You know, they had a 3-game losing streak to end it, to really gain the momentum, to get guys excited to play Pioneer football. That's what you like to have.
You're right on. I couldn't have said it better myself. And you said wrapping up the season. Kevin, we are wrapping up the Game of the Week season for our fall right now. I'd like to thank you, as per usual, for a great year. Always good, and we'll catch you, and we'll catch all the viewers at home or on the internet in the winter season. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.